Apparently we're now live. I know, it says so on my screen. Right, hello and welcome everybody to the Flooring Models PM show. No mentioning COVID-19, beer
No.
or anything else like that this week.
It's banned.
It's banned. We're banning anything circular. I think
Yeah.
that's the... Anyway, we will have to talk about that because I was talking to a couple of the guys about the Easter egg hunt. And I've said I think we're just going to transfer it and just call it the, Coronas effect instead this year. So instead of being egg-shaped, it can be round.
Oh, right, okay. Fair enough.
So eggs are basically round. It'll count. It'll be fine. Hello, but good afternoon, everybody. We trust you're all doing very well. We are open for business in YouTube land, and we are in obviously the Flooring Models forum as well. Chat if you want to post up, ask any questions as always. We've got a few plans ahead for the next few weeks. I think at this rate, as we're all being quarantined. So we've decided we'll put on a few little different shows for you during the afternoons, little get-togethers, things like that. Do a little bit of building, isn't it? Finish the Buccaneers at last.
That's the plan, isn't it? We're all going to do a bit of building, a bit of live.
We'll do a proper bit of live building, and we can answer your questions. As I say, for you guys who don't normally follow us and things like that, we do have quite a clever suite, and I've even installed another camera. So I have a camera over here, look, in the spray bay, live with us all at the same time. So yes, we are all sorted, and I've got Matt set up now. Hopefully, where is he? There we go. Matt gets his own little giant screen as well.
And I've got my other camera up and running. Hopefully, if it don't, kick me out.
Pick a time to restart your computer. Why does it do to me every time we go to
No, it's just...
Look, remind me tomorrow. Go away. That's the bit where it all shuts down.
Sam, let's just have a look how many we've got in our chat.
Right.
Online. Oh my god. Oh yeah. Oh my god. Yeah.
Is there lots in there? Is there?
Oh, there's. Yes.
See, look, everyone's... Oh, yes, there is. Yes, I'm just looking. Lots and lots and lots of you. Good afternoon, everyone.
Hello, yeah.
YouTube doesn't count the people who are actually on the site watching this. This is the weird thing to it. So, because to say, it's saying there's 88. Well, there's more than 88. So I'm looking up there and it's saying there's 22. So, yes, take your pick between both of them. Thank you for the like. We've had a like already.
Well done.
Like and subscribe and click that bell button. That's the one.
We are so sad.
Last week.
Hey, I'm just actually wondering, these people who have been asked to work from home, of how much work they've actually done, and or either watching Netflix or modelling or whatever else they're doing. You know what I mean? Wonder what the percentage is. I've done an hour's work. That'll do for today. Who's gonna know?
See, this is it. I was talking to a few people about that, and obviously I've worked at home like this for the last 10, 15 years doing this, so I'm sort of used to it, so it's no different. But I've got a few people I know speaking to, they said, it's a nightmare because you can't concentrate and get on, and you get easily distracted and stuff like that, and it's like, you just sort of get on with it, don't you? I think
you've got to be really disciplined to do it, though, haven't you?
Yeah.
Because you are really disciplined to actually sit there and do it and come down and do more than a full day's work, when obviously, I think if it's new to you, you can be easily distracted. I think if you were doing it constantly, you would get into some sort of routine. But I don't know. Yeah, like I said, it's just I'd end up watching YouTube or something.
I'd say that is the trouble for people who are new to this, working from home. Do not put Netflix on your computer or on near you. Don't put YouTube, because otherwise, before you know it, you get so distracted. YouTube's the worst because it's like one video after the other. But Netflix, you get into a good box set, and before you know it, the afternoon's gone. And you're
God, yeah. Yeah.
So it can be. But anyway, lots of people talking in live chat in YouTube land. Hello to everybody. Good afternoon from a grey Lincolnshire. Working from home today. Waiting for paints to be delivered from the PM store so he can progress with his project. So Neville. So goody, they named him twice. So he's there. Hello from Seattle. Hello, welcome. Afternoon, boys. From the zombie apocalypse. That's it, absolutely. Working from a hotel room. That's Michael. Good, they're all parted in now. Good morning, gentlemen, from Midnight Modelling. So yes, not a huge amount of work being done. Dragging it out. That's it. That's the whole thing. Afternoon, Phil. Ryan here from Kent. Hello, guys. And afternoon, boys. Very good. So, anyway, getting on back on track somewhat. and then we'll do all questions and everything in a minute. We'll just get through today's news, which, to be honest, there's not a lot, but what we can talk about. But anyway, Matt's been busy at one of our stockists today.
I have. I've been to see Gary at Tiger Hobbies today. And afternoon, Gary, because I know he'll be watching. He said he would.
Afternoon, Gary.
And we've got a bit of an exclusive, actually.
Go on then, I'll put you on full
coming
screen.
In soon.
Go on then.
So these are review samples that I'm going to send to Phil, but these are on the way as we speak. So what we've got here is a nice BMW M6.
Glare.
Sorry, the lighting.
That's it.
That
perfect.
better?
That's
so
it.
lean back a bit. There you go. Sorry about the glare.
Just tilt it slightly forward. That always works. That's it.
There you go. There we go.
M6.
Really, really nice. Nice kits these as well. These are the new ones.
Yes.
So they're going to be doing. Here we go with the side and the back. Sorry, my glare's bad on that light. It's that light there. Change it. And what else we got? And there's the side of it. Here we go.
So if you haven't seen any of these new kits before, I have got reviews of them done. You can see them, and they are really, really nice. They are something else. Really good kits.
Yeah, they're fantastic. And the other one we've got, if I can keep the glare off it, is that one.
That does look smart.
Yeah, you can't beat an Audi R8, can you? So that's a really nice one.
Says the BMW driver.
And then, as I said, these are on the way. And hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll be with us soon.
Yes.
So what I'm going to do is whack these in the post, send them down to Phil. He's going to do a review on them. And that should be up soon.
Very good.
So yeah.
I must
I'm
admit,
just
that
talking
R8
cars.
does look smart.
We've also got a Porsche in.
So whose kit's that?
I think it's the old Esky one.
I was going to say, it's the Esky one.
Yeah, it's the old Esky one.
Yeah.
Again, for the money. To be honest, I've just built a couple. I finished the Lamborghini, which I was actually going to get out of the cabinet and show you. And I've been doing the Audi Quattro for a bit of a change. And, well, you know, when we built the Transits, they're quite simple, to be fair, aren't they? They're nothing complicated, but they're nice to do. You know, if you just want something to throw together and paint.
Yeah.
There's no engine detail. There's, the curbside motor like models, but I'm quite enjoying it, to be honest.
Some ways, a bit like when we did those Transits. For the people who didn't see it, me and Matt did on live shows. I think it was over 3 nights, wasn't it? We did a couple of Transits, and it was, technically it's the old Esky kit reboxed by Italeri. And, it literally is a floor pan, shell, doors and wheels, and that's literally it. But actually that's quite nice, because then you can get on with the painting. And obviously we both weathered ours to hell. I did a yellow one, you did the blue one. We rusted them and did all the things to it, and that was quite nice because there's no stress. It's just having fun with it. It goes together within half hour, and then the rest of it's all painting and just messing around with it. So that's the nice thing with those kits. And that's the thing, right? Well, that's why I queried but didn't want to say it. I thought it was the Esky one with that Porsche, and obviously now they've redone the Range Rover. I quite fancy having to go in at Range Rover.
Do you know what? They've just come in. Do you want one?
Yeah, chuck one in a box.
Yeah, because they've done the police one, haven't they?
Yeah.
But no, the normal ones just come in. The Classic, is it? The Range Rover Classic. So yeah, that's coming as well on this delivery. So I'll chuck one in when I send you these 2 other ones
it's
down.
Just the 3-door, isn't it? It'd be the same one as the police one.
Yeah. But again, if we're doing these, they're nice to do. If we were going to build them like a show like this, because they're not complicated, you're not going to get bogged down with fine details and everything else. You can sort of, like say, chuck them together and get them painted, and you've got, within a few hours, really, it's a bit old school modelling, you've got a decent kit. So, but the Audi is really nice because they've upgraded the decal sheet as well. So now you get like the Recaro sign for the seats, you get seat belts, dials, obviously, and a proper decal because it's the Audi Works one.
Yeah.
So it's now a half decent set of decals as well. So I was umming and ahhing what to do with it, whether to actually do the rally one or sort of find one off the internet and do my own sort of version. But I think, well, I'll do the rally one because you can weather it as well.
Yeah. Very nice.
Add a bit of weather. I'm not going to go mad, but it is going to get a bit of dirt and stuff around it. So yeah.
Very good. Excellent.
Yeah.
The other thing, we were talking slightly about it, and I have got one up here because one of the guys on the forum, I'm going to borrow Grant's thread from the forum, has put up, is for the Zvezda Hind. We've got some pictures here. So this gets released at the end of the month. Now, this is the first time I've seen this, to be honest. And I will be honest, I'm a little bit disappointed. Purely because it looks like they've just purely upscaled the 72nd one, which I have done. I have it here, which I built. And to be honest, it is a great kit. It's beautiful, especially, hold on, where's my overheady? I've got an overhead camera here somewhere. Where is it? Which, if I do on the close-up, you can see, actually, I'll tell you what, pull the rope head off. There we go, makes it a bit easier. As you can see, has got fully detailed engines, okay, and it's got cockpit, and obviously you've got the gearbox area down in here in the back, which is all opened up as well, and obviously inside. And we did this as a quick one-day build thing, and yeah, it's actually very, very nice. It got destroyed coming back from a show, actually. That's why there's the odd bit missing from it. It got crushed. Okay, but my point to it is that one, as nice as it is, look, if I get this all to work, it'd be amazing. Where is it? There it is. It's just, I was expecting to see riveting and perhaps some latching and various things, and it just, I can't work out if this is a test shot one, and perhaps the guy who's built it, or person that's built it, I should say, has sort of, you know, it looks like it has got some panel lines in it, but I think he's painted it a bit heavy and he's lost a lot of the detail. So I just can't work out, because this rotor head here is not the 72nd one. This one's got a lot more detail in it than the 72nd one, but that's got some nice details, all the various areas in it, looking really, really nice. It's just that when we were going up through here, when I originally saw this picture, I was thinking, well, look, it's clearly a test shot. That's why it's in multicolour. So it might not be the actual proper release version. So I am sort of holding judgment on this one until I get hold of a real one and have a proper look at it. It's just I'm hoping it has got a little bit more surface detail on that one, purely because, you know, a lot of you know, and there's a full video build now. I built the 35th scale trumpeter one, and then that way we added a lot of aftermarket stuff to it to bring it up to speed. But that's really very, very nice on that particular build. It's just that one, I don't know, I was really hopeful it was going to be that nice thing, got some nice riveting on it and all the rest of it. And I know people are going to say, well, it's raised rivets versus recessed detailing and all of that. I know, but it would have been nice if it had it. That's all I'm saying. So I'm just holding my views on that until we can get one on. But as I say, virus aside, so we're not sure when it will be in, but we're hoping somewhat they should be in at the end of the month.
That's what's been said, but hopefully, yeah.
Wasn't it Poland and Hungary and that all shut their borders, literally?
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, you couldn't get home from work, apparently. Was it last night, the night before? So I don't know how that's all going to work in that part of the world, but there we go. So yes.
What is it? You see, we've just had a discussion about this, haven't we, just before we've on here, and like my argument is, well, not everybody's a fan of riveting, so it's easier to rivet it if you want to go down that route than to delete the rivets if they're already in and you don't like them.
Yeah.
So I think they've played it safe, and we know the price point. We've had what the RRP in this country is in the UK, and it's 40 quid, I think, 39.99, which I don't think
on that one.
A bad price. And like I'm saying, Zarevsta, you know, with what they've released lately have come in well as well with pricing.
Mm-hmm.
They're a decent price. You've got a full engine in there. You're going to have a full cockpit. I don't know about the cargo sort of troop bay, but I presume there'll be detail in there. So, you know, the riveting's an extra option for me. I think, you know, and also the aftermarket guys are going to be all over it. It's going to just get swamped in it.
Yeah, yeah.
So if you do want to do your etch latches or whatever it needs, you're going to get them within a month.
Yeah.
All being well, but they will be out. So I don't know. And like saying, what it's up against is the old Monogram one, Revel Monogram, and it's going to be streets ahead of that, whichever way you look at it, in construction wise, because that's a bit of a pig to put together, is it not?
Mm. Yeah.
So
again, I think, you know, the thing is that if they have gone along the same sort of build as the 72nd one, it's quite modular purely because we know there's other versions.
Yeah.
And with the 72nd one, they did do, I call it the greenhouse version, the A. You know, and then obviously it's the one you like, and then obviously you've got the later ones like that one, and then obviously I assume they're going to do the 35 version, which has the fixed gear. It doesn't have retractable gear and the various things like that. So you know, obviously they're going to get a few different kits out of this one. So it's modular by its design, but it does go together very well. You know, when I pop this one together, and to say this was done again, it was done at live shows, wasn't it? We did this one, and it does go together. You've got the usual thing with the front end getting it on there, but it did go on okay. So yeah, I think it's all right. So as I say, riveting apart's not a problem because I actually weirdly quite enjoy doing riveting these days. But it's just a shame it hasn't come with it. That's my point.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I think with technology now, they could have done it, but again, I don't know if it's a price thing for them for manufacturing or what. Like we've said, I don't know.
Yeah,
only they'll know. But there you go.
The thing is, I know you can't do right for doing wrong in this hobby, as we know, because the rivet counters up there will say, well, the thing is, they're raised rivets, which they are.
Yeah.
They're not recessed rivets or anything else. They're dome type. If anyone's seen it, you look at the back end behind, it's all rivets and all the rest of it. And the way it goes together is very, very organic. It's typical Russian. Panels don't particularly line up very well. There's big gaps, things like that. So from a modelling point of view, it looked horrible. So you want it to be perfect and all the rest of it. But again, the reality is it is raised. So in theory, recessed rivets wouldn't be right on it anyway, so forth and so on. But I think it just, from a surface skin point of view, and again, I'm holding judgment until I've seen the real thing, because you never know, that might be a test shot and it hasn't got it. The real ones might have it. So it would have been nice if it has got it, because actually, like we were saying, that trumpeter kit, which is God knows how old now, the 35th scale Hind trumpeter one, considering how old it is, it actually builds up to something very, very nice. And you put a bit of, like we did with that one, aftermarket, it had the full photo etch set with it and a few bits on the inside and all the rest of it, and actually it's really nice. But one of the things that you do with the weathering is this riveting detail, and it sort of looks like armor because of it, and it looks heavy. When it's all smooth and that, it looks a bit not right. So that's what I was just sort of hoping with it. That's the only thing. But again, I am totally going to hold judgment until I get my hands on the real thing, because it could have it for all I know. We're just being judged on here, but just seeing as that one looks like it was a test shot put together, it might not have been it. So you never know.
Yeah, well, that's it. Until we've got one, we don't know, do we? So at least it's coming out. It's not been one of them that's been announced and then we ain't seen it for 5 years or something. Do you know what I mean? So
to be honest, when was the last time you were able to get the monogram one?
Few years
back. Production, long time now. So if you wanted one.
It did show up under the Revel monogram name back 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
But no, I don't think you've been able to get it for a while. So I think it will sell well anyway, and we will be doing it on pre-order. Yeah, we'll be up. So if you do want one,
and to be honest, I'm not just say it, but I will have one anyway. So
yeah, you and John.
Yeah, that's it. Me and John will be able to have it. Comrade John and me will have one.
Yeah, he will. Yeah. And can I just say to Sean Harrison, I've sorted you out your clear parts for your MiG.
Cool.
I spoke to Ian yesterday, and by hook or by crook, you will get your clear parts. Obviously, with what's happening with the virus, we was going to go to Hobbyco on Monday, wasn't we? But for obvious reasons, that's all been cancelled. So, talking to Ian yesterday, who's the Hobbyco rep who I see. I said about, you've got in contact with them and they said they haven't gotten on, but obviously they haven't gotten on because that kit is not in production anymore. So what I've said was, well, it's a MiG-29A, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think it's based on. So a normal MiG-29A kit will have the same clear part. So that's what they're going to sort out. So you will be getting them soon, mate. Top. Thanks for your patience as well regarding that.
Very good. Cool. A couple of little things down in here. This is from, I'm not going to do people's names because, they get a bit weird. Anyway, It says, hi Phil, Josh here from Oz, watching your vid on cleaning out your compressor. Not sure if you know it or not, but I'm pretty sure you can unscrew the clear regulator for the bowl for cleaning. Can you? I must admit, I've never tried it.
The clear bowl regulator? What, the bit that hangs underneath?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a little screw and you can let the water out there.
Yeah, no, that. We're on about actually taking the bowl out, because mine, you clearly haven't watched yesterday's show. But in yesterday's show, mine is actually full of water. But it's not just water, it's rusty water.
Ooh.
So,
dear.
Hold on, I'm on the wrong mouse. Let me show you the picture from yesterday's, because it's the thumbnail.
Oh, show us.
Show us your thing.
Time for a new compressor.
Where are we? Tuesdays. If you haven't seen Tuesday's show, it is available. There you go. Look.
Oh, is that what that was? I did see that shot. I wondered what you'd done. I thought
no, it's not the virus suddenly struck.
I thought you'd had an accident.
To be honest, I was going to put that. I was going to say the virus is. I've been hit by the virus, and that was going to be my thumbnail. But I thought better of it. But anyway, if you haven't seen it, it is available to watch. You can just grab it. It is on YouTube as well now. I've chucked it up on there as well. But we empty it out. But it goes through and I zoom in on it and you'll see it all anyway. But I've actually got rusty water in the moisture trap.
The moisture trap? Oh, that's not...
So that's not good. So anyway, I've blown it out, and that's obviously what the guys are saying. You can unscrew it. I don't think you can with mine. I don't know. I'll have a go after the show and see what it does. But I thought those ones were pretty much locked in there. I undid the outer one, the metal one, the cap cover. But I don't know about taking that one out. I thought they were sort of welded in, really, but could give it a whirl. So, yes.
It's not a good sign getting it out of the water trap.
Well, the thing is, it was mentioned, Dan sent me a message about this, and perhaps people live chat can help out as well. He was saying that a friend of his has sprayed WD-40 in his tank to stop it rusting. But my point is that because of the pressure of the tank, it's going to... the moisture in there is going to be airborne. Okay, so what happens is a bit like when you drop the pressure in the tank, you get basically steam. Well, it's not steam, it's mist come out of it where it's condensing under the pressure. That's the whole point of the moisture trap. So if you're going to then actually basically atomize WD-40 inside your tank, surely that's going to bung up the moisture trap. And that way it's going to repel the water. And the whole point of the moisture trap, it condenses the water into droplets so it doesn't go any further. And I'm thinking if you stop that from doing its job, it's not going to then work, you know? It's going to physically just stop it from, you know, basically turning back into water that can come out of the moisture trap and go up. So I'm a little bit dubious about doing that. I think I might be too past it. But my one, again, say you've got my old one now, which is almost 20 years old. So this one now I think is 9 years old. So in the great scheme of how many hours a week they're on.
Well, that little blue Revell one, which I've got upstairs because it sprung a leak, so took it and got it welded up basically. I mean, it was a pinhole, but obviously it's got no tank, so it just loses pressure constantly. I've had it welded up, but when I first had it, I hadn't had it very long. I actually filled the tank, or not filled the tank, but I was topping up my oil, and put it in the wrong one. So I filled the tank, or what little bit of tank, with compressor oil, and then I'm like, oh, you prat. Put normal oil in it and topped it up to the level and everything. To be honest, I'm thinking, I've thingied this, and I've had no hassle with it at all. I'm thinking, oh God, oil in the tank coming through and all, but it's.
You've been
I don't know if it preserved
self-lubing your needle for the last 2 years.
Probably. I don't know. It's. But I mean, I've had that over 20 years. I must have had it over 20 years, that little compressor. And I mean, apart from obviously, like I say, a couple of pinholes that's been MIG welded back up, it's been flawless, to be honest. And it's by Revell. Who would have thought?
Well, that's it. But don't forget, the Revell ones are made by Iwata, which are made by Spark.
It is. So... it's a good little compressor, to be honest.
So, yes. So we've got hello to South Carolina. Hello, Frank. Phil or Matt, have you ever done the Academy T33 148 scale Academy Shooting Star? I haven't.
No, I haven't.
I've seen it done on the forum.
Yeah.
But no, I can't actually say it myself. I've never built that particular kit. So, yes, unfortunately not.
So just on our chat, the amount of people that are off work. Alan's off work for 2 weeks, so he's building 3 Revell Land Rovers. David's just put, I mostly drain my air tank every night before I get ready for bed. Hi Phil, I usually save the rusty water. This is from Peter. I save it in. I save it wet in a jar and let some dry out. The perfect weathering rust. Here you go. You've got crusty rusty project at your compressor.
Okay.
Roger's put, is there a kit of a Triumph Vitesse? Not that I know of.
No.
I think there's a really, really old one from somebody, and I can't remember who, but it's old.
Yeah.
Yeah. David's put back going to the doctors on Monday for his cataract. He's getting worse and said he'll need to get an operation as soon as he can. Oh God, that's not going to be cheap. Yeah, well, hopefully you'll get that done, David, because that's not good.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
They're saying in here that sorry, I can't pronounce your name, guys. I will not even try and mutilate that. Anyway, so I saw a discussion on the official VK page of Zvezda. People are mad that it's apparently just an upscale of the 72nd scale kit with poor detailization. That's a good word. I'm going to have to use that one more. And no rivets at all. So it is just an upscale.
Ah, yeah. I thought it would be.
That's a shame,
yeah. Kitty Hawk, a 32nd Jaguar. I've seen that, but that's really old news. That's from like 5 years ago or something.
Actually, it's a lot. This is where I'll get. I'll stuff it. It's an old trumpeter kit that a certain member of staff used to work for Trumpeter, who now works for Kitty Hawk, took all his designs with him. So we've been waiting for this to come out as long as the Intruder. So it's been on the cards as long as the 32nd A6 Intruder by Trumpeter. And you think how long we've been waiting for that?
Well, this is it, isn't it? This is getting as long as the Italeri Tornado in 32nd, isn't it? Yeah. Neil's put up about he works from home for more than 20 years. The key is to treat where you work like an office, which is what you do, really, isn't it?
Yeah, this is it.
Yeah, you've got to be professional about it, I suppose. Like I say, I think once you get into a routine, and I know Leslie's had to work from home, and she, from one of the bedrooms was converted in an office when she moved out of her old one before she moved in here when we had Lydia. Mm-hmm. And like she said, the only problem is probably what you find is you never leave work. It's not the fact of doing the work, it's always there, and you're thinking, you walk past, like she said, she walked past that room and it's like, well, I could just do this, I could just do that. And I think that was the problem she had, rather than actually being distracted from other things at home, it was actually stopping.
Yeah. And like I always say, the only time I totally switch off is when I'm out with the dog or dogs, because then I can't do anything with work, because I can't even go on my phone because I'm being dragged. So that's the only time. But if I'm at home, like of an evening, I might be making up sounder packs, I might be labelling bottles of wash, and that's when I'm just sat in front of the telly. So you never physically switch off. Like well, not anymore, but I like watching the rugby. So I usually sit on the floor making up sounder packs when I've got the rugby on, with the Six Nations, stuff like that. So you'll never actually totally switch off. But my worst one is that I'll be literally sat there in conversation, your phone will go and it'll be a question, and I'll go off and answer it, and everyone's like, they can wait, and I'm like, no, they can't.
That's it, isn't it?
It's just you're into that thing. I've been doing it for the last 20 years, so it is that thing of just trying to, because the thing is, because we get so many questions and so many things, if it's something that's quite important, and it will get buried. Yes. So if I don't deal with it right now, especially at weekends, and you think, oh, do it on Monday, that'll be on page 3 of my emails, and I'll never see it again. So that's why I always say, if you ever don't get a reply from me, shoot me another email. It's not, I'm ignoring you, I'm not being disrespectful. It's just that you get so much of it, it just gets buried. And when it gets buried, I am literally memory like a sieve. If you look at my computer upstairs, the entire side of it is just covered in Post-it notes. And then my to-do list that I literally go up there and peel them off, and I've got to deal with that, I've got to do that, I've got to email this. But I write everything on a Post-it note, gets stuck on there. But the trouble is, now my entire computer is covered in Post-it notes, so I can't individually see them. That takes your eye. So, but apologies, I am bad at it.
I know I'm not sort of the quickest at answering emails, but I do my best. But I do actually sort of Sundays and Mondays when we're shut here, I won't answer them, and it's not because I'm being ignorant. It's because it's like sort of my time. So it's I'll get round to them sort of hopefully Tuesday, Wednesday after, if you send them over sort of the Sunday, Monday period. But I'm not being ignorant or ignoring you by any stretch. It's just obviously I'm not at work. So you've got to have that sort of definition of work and non-work, if you know what I mean.
And so you do need to sometimes, and I'm being funny, you've got young family as well. So that's the thing. You need a bit of time.
You do, don't you?
So anyway, a few more on here. This is loads of people saying hello and all the rest of it.
Hello.
We've got Phil. Any chance, Phil and Matt? Any chance PM could get the Ryfield Models resin radio set for the MRAP that we?
Yeah.
Can we get it?
Yeah. I think to be honest, Gary's got them in.
Right.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll ring me after to go, yeah, I've got loads in or whatever, because I know he's watching. But yeah, can get it. Yeah, pretty much. And also, this is what I remembered. The Charlie that's due out, an upgrade set's coming with it from Ryfield as well.
Oh, right.
So we've got some coming in. I've ordered it, some today. But I think, again, if you want one to go with your Charlie, this is for the pre-orders off the site, chuck it into that thread. Yeah. And we'll sort it. I mean, it is up so you can see what you get. Literally, I got an email yesterday about it. So yeah, if you do want this upgrade set, just like I say, chuck it in to say, I want an upgrade set with me Charlie. So
yeah. No, we can do that, definitely.
Just answer Rob, quick. Yeah. Rob McCluskey, because he's off work, because I think Rob works in hospital, if I remember. I think he's off. I'm so disciplined, I've nearly finished my 22-inch Eagle, which I presume is the Jerry Anderson thing.
Oh, right, yes. Yes.
Yeah. He only started it on Friday.
Oh, right.
Well done.
Is that the one that Ron was going to do in the Mars set, I think?
I don't know, it could be. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, Ron. Good old Ron. How are you? You watching?
Did you see what I put on his Facebook yesterday?
Yes, I did. Yeah. David's put about the virus and shut everything down. I have 7 models coming in and not sure how long it will take to get delivered since the main island, Zuzon, is it? And Manila are on lockdown and all the hobby stores are closed until further notice. Mm-hmm. The thing is, this is the time to get through your stash.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Just to point this out, because obviously we've had a few questions. I know Matt has at the PM as well. Yes, we're still open. We're still shipping. Obviously, Matt, is there. The only thing what we're probably going to be doing when it happens, because they're going to lock us down at some point, is that it was said that we probably won't open the store open as we open. Normally you can walk in and go where you like. So what we'll do is probably just keep people on the other side of the counter. But we can get you stuff and all the rest of it. But obviously we won't have it just open and walk around and help yourself, like we normally do. It'll just be a case of that maybe if you stay just your side of the counter, and then that way, because obviously we use hand sanitizers and that, we send orders anyway in the various bits and pieces. So, but the same goes down here as well in Devon for sending out the washes, the pigments and the sanders. I do wash my hands. I get my little gloves and I can send out all the orders. The only thing I am taking into consideration at the moment, everything is sent signed and tracked. And it was pointed out to me yesterday, and I don't know because they asked, is that would it be better to send it normal post without it being signed and tracked? Because otherwise that means people handling it and they might not be delivering signed for mail because of all that type of thing. So it might be slower. I don't know. Is the simple answer.
Well, like we've said, as long as the couriers and the post office are working, we're working. Yeah. We can work, basically. So we just carry on as normal. We've got to be. I think you've got to try and be as normal as you possibly can be under the circumstances. So, like I say, we've had a lot of orders for paint. So a lot of restock of paint. By the way, just saying that, Rapid Thinners is back in. So anybody who wants Rapid Thinners, that's in. So is the black cement that's next to Phil. Because we did sell out of that. That's back in stock. Leveling thinners is back in. Surface primers. So I've had a pretty large Mr. Hobby delivery. I've got a Attacker delivery I just put in today, so that should be here tomorrow. So that should be up to date. I've had a big Tamiya delivery of paint as well. So that's for lacquers and the what's it called? Yeah, XF range, that was it. I know it come to me. The only thing they're out of is extra thin glue and quickset. So what we've done is I've stocked up on these glues. So we've got these in, we've got the normal cement, we've got the SP cement. So, if you do need glue, you might have to go down the Mr. Hobby route rather than the Tamiya. The only one of Tamiya we have got is the white top, just the normal cement. X20A we've got plenty of. Yep, that's the one. So, we're pretty stocked up with paint. So, it seems to be masking tape, usual sundries, I think, that people are going to need. So yes.
But no, from a, as you say, it's just that as far as we're concerned, we're just every day's as always. The same thing for me doing the shows and that. But all the other things we have said is me and Matt, because it'll be a little bit quieter, no doubt, that we might do some live stuff, isn't it? And various things, just to keep you all entertained.
Yeah, well, we have, haven't we? Yeah,
because we're good like that. Right, sorry, where were we in the questions? Hi Phil and Matt, any chance I saw, hi Matt, by chance I saw your old vid about the 5 litre tank connected to your compressor. Are you still using it that way? And today your cleaning vid, have you ever reviewed oil compressors maybe? As for the 5 litre tank, to be honest, I don't know if it is here, you can see it. But as you can probably see, if I can get it out of here, oh my god, it's attached in every direction. There you go, you can just about see it. There it is, that's the one. I didn't think it was plugged in, but it is. I don't actually use it connected to my tank. The reason I used to do it was when I used to do the airbrushing courses here, you'd have 4 or 5 people all using one. And I've got the TC620, you can see that one, which is a dual piston. And with that as well, it's quite happy to work with 4 people at once with no problem at all. So that's why I just use the extra tank as just a bit more room. So technically I've got a 10 litre tank instead of a 5. Day-to-day running, and if you're on your own, you don't need it. I would only recommend getting an extra tank if you've got a lot of people using a lot of air. Because generally, I don't think you need it. What it tends to do, it evens out the air pressure. So it keeps the tanks roughly, if you're working your working air pressures between sort of 12 and say 15 psi, it's absolutely fine, you know. So honestly, it's one of those things where it's great if you need it. If you don't, I wouldn't bother. But if you do need a tank, it's quite a good system because that one there has got a regulator built into it. So actually, if you've got just a normal compressor without a tank, you can hook it up to that. That gives you 5 litre storage, and then it will turn your compressor off because you plug into it, you know, and then obviously you just leave your compressor on, then it will turn it on and off via the plug into there. So it's a quick, easy way of doing it. But again, it depends. You can pick up now a 610 compressor, the one I like to use. I think they're about 180 quid. That tank, and by the time, sometimes it's easier to buy cheaper, you know, just get a normal compressor and do it that way rather than buying the tanks. I think the tank on its own was 90 quid or something. So, you know, it's not a cheap option to do it that way, but you can do it and it does work.
Right. Can I just, for our things, click on here because it's like going mental on here. Roger's just asked a question because we was out of, because he did order one, but I've had to refund him, but they are back in, Roger. I don't think I've actually put them back in store, so I'll do that. But yeah, you know the cap openers, the Mr. Cap Opener.
Hey, look, I'm on form today.
Yeah, because he's got one and one of them. So yes, they should be back in stock. Well, I'll do it probably after this, to be honest. I'm not going to butcher his name by any stretch because there's no way I can pronounce that. But he's put, "Hi Phil and Matt, do you have a chance to test K Colours Paints metallic range?" Never heard of them.
Sorry, say again.
K Colours Paints metallic range. Have you heard of them? I think I have seen.
Somebody asked me on one of the shows a couple of weeks ago about those.
Send Phil some, we'll review them.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. But no, I haven't ever used them. I was saying I don't know. I know some of the guys posted up. They said they had and things. So, but I personally can't comment on that at all.
Yeah, I can't. I've not done it.
Just finishing up, a second half. I've never reviewed an oil compressor. Nor have I ever done those Bambi silent ones and stuff like that as well. I know a lot of people ask about that particular one. Again, the only compressors I've literally reviewed is just the ones I've had. I've only ever had 2. I had my 610, which I reviewed, and the 620. That's what those reviews are for. So it's not something we've ever done mass reviews on or got them in. You know, it's something maybe we'll stock in the store at some point. But at the moment, it's just what I've got. That tends to be it. So
yeah.
Sorry, mate.
And Alan Vec, I'm after a decent primer. What would you recommend? Go on, this one's for you. Do it.
Hold on, I've lost me. I might as well just go to the other overhead, but there we go.
There you go, Alan. That is now the primer of choice.
It's my primer of choice at the moment. I must admit, it does work really, really well. Again, jury's slightly out about using it with rapid drying thinners, but I've used it with loads and I haven't had a problem with it, but a couple of people have, so, or a member has. So as I say, I'm not sure, but this stuff, I actually really do rate it. The great thing is you can thin it to what you like. So you can have it quite thick, you can put it down really, really thin. Doesn't seem to mind. 50/50 is where I go with like self-leveling thinners or rapid thinners, and it's absolutely fine. So very, very nice stuff.
Yeah, it's good stuff. I've used it with leveling thinner. It was lovely, really, really nice. Just to Roger on it, we'll do that, no problem. Davies put, Phil, Matt and community, as Phil always said, that a spray booth is really needed. Anyone knows how good the H-Thing HS55BLK portable airbrush spray painting booth with LED lights version 2? That was a mouthful. Never heard of it.
Sounds like it's a Chinesey one to me. Like I always say with all of them, if it pulls out air, and as long as you're kicking it out the room, it's better than nothing.
Yeah.
But, as I say, don't overlook your normal masky,
Nope, mine's up there.
As I say, your normal mask, that's your primary, that's your secondary, I know we're all talking health, but this is great. So if you do need to go outside, this is a proper one. These paper ones that you see these people wearing that, you're buying B&Q, which are crap, that does make you laugh.
They're no good nor ornament.
To be honest, the face masks full stop aren't good nor to ornament.
No, they're not. So just righto, Roger, we'll do that as well. Sorry, he wants some primer and fast thinners as well. So no worries, can do that.
Yes.
So yes. So what's happening in YouTube land?
So we've got, sorry, where are we? Where are we? Hi Phil from Scotland. Are you adding anything to the air to slow down the corrosion? No. Again, this is what we're talking about. Some people have said, well, Dean said about his friend he had a friend of a friend, not him.
Yeah, just asking for a friend.
But apparently he's put WD-40 in there. But my point is, I just imagine that when it vaporizes, because it will, because it's under a massive amount of pressure, is that surely that might block up the actual moisture trap. And the moisture trap is like very, very fine particles, like stone or something in there, isn't it? So it makes the water condense. So you want it to condense, so it drips, so it doesn't go up your pipe. But again, I don't know. Like I said before, when I did my first one, which was proper gnarly, because if people remember that, go back through the video. I did it here. I had both of them together, and I emptied one, and it was literally got chunks of rust coming out of it. It was awful. So anyway, with that one, it was like really bad. So if you're not going to use your compressor for, let's simply say, a couple of weeks or something, it's probably a good idea to take the drain plug out. And that way it can just vent and it'll dry out. All the time it's just closed up. It's just going to sit in there like a greenhouse, and they are going to rust and rot. The trouble I've got, mine's in a cupboard behind me, normally shut up to keep it quiet for filming, and I don't even see it. It's all auto. It's hooked up, so I don't even turn it off at the wall. So consequently, when it gets low on air, it self-charges and away we go, things like that. So it is one of those things. It's out of sight. It literally is out of mind, and I do forget about it. Hence, whilst the question came up, one of the members sent me a thing saying it's compressor time. I thought I'd do it, and it was totally live when I did it on that video yesterday, and I was surprised how much came out of it, really. So, but yes, you should drain your tank once a month, drain it, and then leave the plug out, let it vent, and it'll dry out.
Yeah.
So,
to be fair as well, they are making a good point on our chat. Is like, why would you want oil in your tank?
Well, yeah.
You know what I mean? Oily air is not going to be. Oily air mixed with moisture ain't going to be a good thing, is it?
No, I wouldn't have thought so.
Yeah, I mean, I did it by pure accident by putting compressor oil in mine. To be honest, it was an accident. It wasn't deliberate by any stretch, but I wouldn't have done it normally, obviously. So yeah, I don't know. They are kind of designed for it, though, aren't they? They've got to be designed for, like a compressor tank. It's going to have rust in it. It's got moisture in it. You put air in there, there's going to be moisture. Do you know what I mean? So, like I say, the one I've got, it's sort of like a little tank, and then it comes round and like this, and it rotted underneath, because obviously all the moisture rests at the bottom on this tube, as you want to call it, or whatever. And obviously, over 20 odd years that I've had it, it's rested in these places and obviously rotted through with a couple of pinholes. But I've had more than my money's worth out of that compressor for 20, like I say, I don't know, over 20 odd years, like that one I've got of yours at the minute.
Yeah.
Nothing technically lasts forever, does it?
No, that's it. Yeah. I think it's because it's one of those big ticket items, you know, it's a bit like your airbrush, your compressor, and your spray booth. You know, they're big expensive, but you think, you know, you tend like, you know, we say about the spray booths are a lot of money at 300 quid almost, you know, but I've had them a lifetime now, you know, and it's never failed me. It's never been a problem. And they are sort of your unsung heroes. You go through cutters and sanders and all your other tools, you expect them to break, but when they break, you're like, oh, damn it, I've only had it 50 years.
Yeah, you know? It's like your TV, isn't it? Hey, it's like if your TV breaks.
Yeah.
Or your washing machine or something, you know what I mean? It's like you take it for granted every day that it's there and you're using it, and then when it does break, it's like the end of the world's happened. It's like,
it is, but
what am I going to do?
These things will go, that's the trouble.
Yeah, of course it will.
Right, where are we? We're rapidly in here. Phil, thank you for your review of the UMM USA. I'm waiting on my first large shipment of modelling tools from them. Looking forward to using them. Great products. They are, I have to say, John, he does some cracking stuff. I rescribed this entire thing with this. So I've got right into using the long scriber, which is, hold on, let me just, you know, whilst we're here, I'll give you a quick rundown of my, so yeah, this is the long scriber.
That's what I use now all the time. I really like that.
I must admit, I've got right into it. I find it really easier to control.
Yeah. I do, yeah.
But you might remember we closed all this up. So the blowing doors have closed now. And obviously the main gear, we had to make them up to go in. But generally, I think it all went in very, very nicely. Intake's all in. And obviously nose wheel well. It's all in there. So it's all in. It's not going to stay black purely because it was just me messing around. But she's all in. But I've re-riveted, re-scribed and all the rest of it. To be honest, it's just ready for primer. It's just like black fasted up around on the glass work after it had the blue in. And then I had the paint left over because I made up a bit much. So I've literally just gone round here and chucked this all over it. And to put this all in. But no, she's all ready for primer. So good looking jet now.
Can I just answer Roger's question on here?
Yes.
It's put about the post office and sign in and everything.
Yeah.
And how they, you know, or leaving it on the doorstep or whatever. And he says, for the time being, possibly, would it be better not to do it signed for?
Yeah, well, that's the question I've been asked by a couple of people.
Right. The reason we do it tracked and signed is not only for you, but for us. Because if somebody turns around and says they haven't got their order, we've got no proof of what's happened to it, whether they've had it or not, or it's been lost.
We can't claim on insurance and various things. So
yes, because I've been stung like this before in a past life when I had the eBay shop of people, you know, oh, it's not turned up, and then I'm losing out because I've lost obviously what I've sent and I've had to refund them or PayPal's done it. So from a business point of view, it's a bit security for us as well. I understand obviously what's happening at the minute. It is a pain, but again, you know, it kind of needs must, I think.
Yeah, again, I think what we'll do, we'll leave it as it is definitely for the minute from my side of it. With Max, it's a little bit different as well, because obviously if people buying kits and that, it's expensive stuff. You know, with me, if it's a pack of sanders or a bottle of wash, it's only a £5. It's no biggie. If it goes missing, we can just resend it. But again, it's that thing. For the last over a year, I've been sending everything signed and tracked and never really had a problem. You know, we know where they go, and if they don't get delivered, they always come back, which is the nice thing as well. Whereas before, they obviously went in the bin. So, you know, from that point of view, I'm happy to leave it. But I know I had a couple of people message me about it saying, can you send it without it being tracked? So that way they'll just leave it and, you know, I can just grab it and all the rest of it all being signed for and stuff. But for the moment, I think we'll just leave it as it is. And then obviously if it looks like the post office isn't making normal deliveries perhaps and all the rest of it, then it's different. But the other way of looking at it is, don't forget, if it's signed for, it's guaranteed to get there in a certain time. If it's just sent first or second course, it could take forever. Especially in this day and age, you might just get chucked in a cage somewhere and left, you know. So again, it's just, we're just playing it all by ear like we all are for everything really, and then we'll just make a decision when it comes to it.
Yeah.
This is Hyde from Los Angeles, at home from work for the next 2 weeks. Well done, Glenn. Nice. Get ready to work with the corona patients confirmed and suspected. Oh, I know that one well. People don't realise my partner works in ED, so she's having fun. That's just text me. Just text me saying, get more dog food. Apparently pets at home have sold out. What, dog food?
That's it. Enough resort. Yeah, resort to dog food.
It's a Labrador. Eat anything. Eat
True.
grass.
Yeah, I know what you got to do with Molly is just get her some lager.
Yeah, that's it. Molly just drinks lager. If you watch the live shows, you'll know what she's like. She's a bugger for that.
Yeah, the alcoholic spaniel.
Working from home for the next month. So now have a chance to listen in. Wow, see, there you go. Everyone's in now. Phil, have you 2 dogs now? Didn't you just have the one? Yes, now I've got a Labrador and a Springer now. Great. I've got one that eats everything and one that's just mental. So it's like, fine. What's on the Flory Models YouTube on your desk? This is the, well, it's Trumpeter, MiG-23. So I'm actually doing it in flight. So I've got acrylic rod on the way, which hopefully will be here tomorrow. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to glue it to this so it'll fix in. So we've got the nozzle so it'll lock in and we can put it in flight. And we are planning it and doing it in, because obviously I'm using the Bednar kit for this one. So I'm going to go in flight. And of course, we're going to be doing that version because it's the nice one.
The Tiger one.
It's the full Tiger job on this one. So as I say, we're not sure exactly how we're going about doing it yet. Hold on, there we go. We're not sure if we're going to be going using the decals or we're going to paint it. I've got a feeling we're going to paint this.
Ooh.
So yeah.
Just try and remember if you still got that pilot.
Yes, I have somewhere. Hold on.
But just before you do that, can I just read out, because Dan's just put up a statement from Kitty Hawk.
All right.
All right, he's put, well, he hasn't put obviously Kitty Hawk's, but for the next couple of months, Kitty Hawk and Panda will be closed for the COVID-19 virus in the world around. Most of the retailers stopped ordering from us. We have production capacity, but there are not enough orders to maintain factory to release more new kits. We will release the Mirage 2000 DN this week, but following new kits such as the MH60S, FJ3 and so on will not be released until orders start coming in. Thank you for your support, Kitty Hawk.
Oh, well, there we go.
Yeah.
It does make you wonder how it's going to be a knock-on sort of effect with, as you say, all the suppliers and the various things.
Well, yeah. The thing is like obviously if the factories are open in China, but then we're shutting down here.
Yeah, that's right.
They're you know, it's now like I say the knock-on effect of that, isn't it? So,
yeah.
Well, yeah. Sorry about that. You've got to just show them the pilot, please.
What? Just so we. Here he is.
Here he Lurch. Here's Lurch. You rang.
You rang. Look at the size of his arm. Like
his
seriously, it's like Jesus.
Oh my God! I didn't.
But look at his arm though. It's like, my Lord. I don't know.
I'm looking at his shoulders compared to his little head.
Yes.
Wow. He reminds me of somebody off a film, and I can't think who it is.
The Monsters.
Really does. He's a character off a film.
But I reckon his arm is like almost the length of his leg. He'd be dragging on the floor like an orangutan.
Well, say he is, isn't he? He's like an orangutan.
The trouble is, when we tried to fit him in the cockpit, he's literally sitting like this. His head is like up at the top. So, yes, it wasn't good. But yeah, it's proper lurch. I have reordered, so don't kick it out the thing again. I put it in there this morning for the next order. For a decent pilot. So, yes, bless him.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's it. He's like Jaws. From James Bond.
Yeah, he's Jaws, yeah.
That's just so out of proportion.
He is a little bit out of proportion, bless him.
We'll get you the other one that you need.
Proper one.
Mind you, keep that one. It'll be funny. I might have him back and paint him as Lurch.
I'd say, do you want to paint him up? Put him in
yeah, I might paint him as Lurch.
Put him in like a grey suit. He'd be like Jaws.
Yeah.
Big pointy collar on his shirt. You know, something from the 60s, he'd be fine.
It's somewhere else. So.
Oh, hold on, now we're jumping all over the place. I've gone too far. I've got into the live bit. I need to go back.
Just like, look. Nearly forgot. God, the bloody glare off that light. There you go.
Yes.
Look at that.
So there you
go. A bit late to the party as usual, but there you go. It's here. So I'll let you get with it.
Approach. So you got the Eagle with the what is it? God, I can never remember what the.
Tell you what, actually, if I get the box the right way around, that might help, wouldn't it? Instead of having it upside down. There you go.
Is it Columbia? Was the module? What was the module? Can't remember. God, do you think after us doing that live thing, I'd remember?
Yeah, it says there, look, Columbia and Eagle.
Columbia.
So yeah, be a big old lump though, wouldn't it?
It will be 48 scale. Nice.
Yeah. What scale is it? It's 48 scale. And I don't know how many. I mean, this one turned up. I forgot. It's been that long since I pre-ordered it, so it's turned up. Literally like with the Porsche and the Range Rover and a few other bits. So I will put it in the shop, but yeah, like I say, I didn't know it was coming. It's been on back order. It's one of them with Dragon. They just turn up when you as and when
you least expect it. That's usually probably. Dragon. Ray's in from Malta. Hello, Ray. What else have we got? I think we're a bit low. Good luck on finding one of those nowadays. I don't know what we're on about. That was a bit ago now.
All right.
I think they're having a chat in there between themselves. Oh, by the way, sticking to Mr. Surfacer, I had an impression that sometimes to read. Sorry, I had impressions sometimes to read on jars Mr. Surfacer on the other Surfacer Primer. Is there a difference? Yes, there is. So, let me find my normal ones. Got normal ones somewhere. 1200s and things. Grab normal ones. Trust me to pick one that's manky as hell. Right.
So, your revision's been cancelled.
Oh no!
What am I going to do?
And Glastonbury.
Oh well.
So this is the normal ones you've got. Hold on, let me just go full screen here. Where are we? Me. There we go. So your normal ones you've got are these two. So you've normally got your 500, your 1000, 1200, 1500. These are your standard ones. The big difference is it's a slightly different colour, as you can see. Okay, but this is Mr. Surface Primer. Apparently it's where this one is just like a Mr. Surfacer and all the rest of it. This thing has got better grip capabilities. It's supposed to stick better to photo etch, to resin, white metal, things like that as well. Yeah. So that was it. It apparently is all-rounder, a little bit of an upgrade to it. It goes alongside. It's not like they're replacing these. It just goes along with it. But Matt got them in a couple of weeks ago. And I must admit, I pinched one to have a go with it. And actually very impressed. It goes down lovely. I used it with rapid thinners and got fantastic results with it. And I've used it on all my builds since. So I actually used it on the... there we go. On the Gladiator, I used it on the Millennium Falcon, I've used it on a couple of other bits I've been working on. We did it on the Buccaneer. This will have it shortly as well. So yeah, and it goes down beautifully well. It dries very, very nice. Good smooth satin finish to it, and it adheres well. I tried it over a little bit of photo etch, and yes, it didn't bead up like the normal stuff, so that was a bonus. So yeah, no, it does work very, very well. Very impressed with it. And to be honest, I am a bit of a sod, aren't I, for doing this? But you know, this is my go-to one for this week. I say it loosely, and there is the disclaimer. I'll probably change my mind when someone else comes along, but it does seem to. So far, it works really, really well, and it covers nice because you think I did the Millennium Falcon, which Jesus, that thing's huge, and you know, with all the bits and pieces and the intricacies going in, all of that, and I used basically about half a pot to do that entire thing, and it had 2 coats of it and everywhere. It's a lot of surface on that. The Gladiator as well got fully masked with it. I know there's a little thing about this stuff with masking with rapid thinners, but I haven't had a problem with it. So yes, very nice stuff. But if you've still got this, use this up first, because it's not that much of a difference. But if there, you know, if you haven't,
there must be some difference, though, for obviously to relabel it and everything. There's got to be something different.
Something in
it. Phil's asked, do you know if there are any 1/48 modern Russian ground crew available for my MIG-SIG build? I don't, to be honest. Do you? Or does anybody else know if there is?
No, shout up anyone knows anything else.
I tell you what, 1/48 figures are very thin on the ground for aircraft. Because we've had a discussion about this before. And David's asked, are you going to be selling your polo shirt? Not your one you're wearing.
What?
You know,
Because you want this one? I
well, yeah,
trust
probably,
me.
yeah.
No, yes, we will get them all back in. Again, you know, as I say, there's a story to this, but yes, I sometimes have trouble working with companies who do our merchandising. For some reason, they keep dying.
Yeah,
It must be us. I think people just
I
don't
think
like
I've
working
got
with
the-
us.
yeah,
They're probably
I've got
fine.
the
They just
curse.
turn around. Oh, what can we use an excuse? We're dead. So yeah.
It's
So
yeah.
unfortunately, the company we used to use is out of business again. So, but anyway, we'll find another one. I might use a big company this time instead of somebody down the road. So,
Yeah.
quick question: what is in the black tube that is on your desk, Phil? That will be this, which is perfect plastic putty.
I would like to talk about that
Right. Okay.
and that company.
What, Deluxe?
Yes. Are they still going? Does anybody know? Because I am having immense problems getting that back in stock.
Oh, right. Okay.
And any of their other products, to be honest.
Right.
So yeah, it's because it's a good product, and you know, when we've got it, we do sell a lot of it. But I'm having real hassle. So with, you know, Deluxe Materials are watching, be in touch, and
Yeah.
whatever. Honestly, because yeah, it's really good stuff.
For people who don't know, this stuff is water based. So the great thing is, and if you watch Friday's part of this, well, it might be Mondays, I don't know, depends how the editing goes with this one. I used it for doing things like down here in the tail, because I had a small gap, and under here, and various things. Because it's water all cleanup, you just let it go on, goes hard, and then you reactivate it and just wipe off what you don't need. And also, and like I was showing on here quite in depth about it, was that you can clean out all the riveting detail. So, you know, there's obviously a lot of riveting detail on this that is filled up with filler. So you just go along with your cotton bud and it's quite wet and just wiggle it and it just draws it all out and cleans it out. Yeah, if it had been normal filler, your only other option is to use lacquer or something to get it out, and the thing is you end up melting the plastic. So it's nice and safe for doing it. But like I say in here, don't use it for something structural. Did it for the A10, classic example. I put a little bit on the spine, and because it was this stuff, it's not a structural filler like your normal lacquer-based fillers, because it doesn't grip particularly well to anything. It's sitting on the surface. So if you got something like a wing joint and it's doing this, and it's what happened to me, it cracked the top seam on the top of the A10 because the wings are doing this. And obviously, if it had been your normal, I think, lacquer-based ones, because they weld into the surface a lot better, this is, you know, it's quite easy to snap it. So it's great for doing little jobs and, you know, getting in amongst things and everything. It's got minimal shrinkage as well. It's quite nice, but I wouldn't use it anywhere structural. That's my only sort of disclaimer to it.
John's just asked how much is the Lunar Approach. To be honest, John, I don't even know. I've not even looked because it literally turned up just before I was on here on an order. So I've not even looked at the invoice. So I don't know. I'll have to. I'll have a look, and like I say, I'll get it up in the shop. It'll probably be tomorrow now, to be honest. But yeah, the 48ers.com for Modern Russian Crew. That's from Peter.
Right. Good.
So they might be worth a look.
Yes.
Kitty Audio, a weapons loading set for bombs and missiles that come with Soviet ground crew.
Oh, there you go. Might be an interesting one.
And Roger, I've got to answer this one. No, Roger, do not put X28 in lacquer paints.
No.
Very bad.
Won't work.
No. Need lacquer thinners.
Daryl's working on the Bandai Slave 1 and he's wondering what chipping fluid or hairspray to use for the weathering. Having done a few of those over the time, they're all upstairs in my other office upstairs. It's like a Star Wars shrine now because the Falcon's up there as well. But the thing is, with Slave 1, you can't go wrong. So I've done it, literally I used, I can't remember, it was chipping fluid I had now, somebody's I had. I got a feeling it was AK's.
I thought you used Vallejo's.
Was it Vallejo's? One or the other. I've used Vallejo's on one, I've used hairspray on the other. I usually keep, and here you go, just to prove I'm not laying, I use Asda Price Smart Price hair lacquer.
Yeah.
And that's what I use, and that's why it's down there. The cheapest one possible is the best one.
Yeah.
Because if you use a good one like Elnet and all things like that, it's too good. It holds too well, but this stuff really just doesn't. So you get a little bit of water in there, it just gives up and releases and stuff like that. We've done various things with it. I've got that ISO container up there I did as a chipping tutorial all over it. We use that on it. It's just as well. But again, it's one of those ones where you can buy, Matt will know more than me, different ones where it's like a weak or a strong finish, isn't it?
You've got the Worn Effects and the, there's another one, AK. They're the two variants. One's a lot lighter than the other.
Yeah. There we go, that's the one. I've just got it here, funny enough.
That's the one, the chipping medium. Do you know that one is actual, well, from what I've seen on a tutorial, is not for airbrushing, it's for literally brush painting on.
To be honest, that's normally what I do, because I don't tend to do big areas. I usually decant it and blob it, if that makes sense. Stipple it on.
But I'm sure it is. Oh, that's it. Worn Effects and Heavy Chipping. That's it, the AK ones.
Yeah.
The one I've used is the Heavy Chipping. I think it works better. I don't know if, like, obviously the strength of the Worn ones is, you know, it takes a lot to reactivate it to, you know, to get the effect. But again, it depends. I think on Slave 1, the Heavy Chipping will be better because that's actually quite a worn paint job, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
But again, cheap hairspray.
Yeah,
give the same results, really, I think.
Yeah. Again, it's that thing. If you're doing two different types of chipping on your vehicle, you want like some big stuff and little stuff, then you're probably better off using different versions of. So, like if you went through with like a warm one and a heavy chipping, you can vary it. Because the trouble is, if you're just using this, you're going to get what you're going to get. You're not going to be able to vary it very much because it is just that same thing. But again, I've had funny successes using lacquer paints with chipping, because you wouldn't think you can do it, but it does, because it's a bugger to get off. So you need a really strong brush, you know, nothing with soft bristles. You want hard bristles, almost like a toothbrush, because then it properly chips and snaps it off, and you get some really aggressive chipping. But it's not big chunks, it's very small, localized. So if you want little chunks, put in that, and then you go over it with lacquer paints, but you do need to get into it and then get it out to do it. So again, it's one of those ones you play, test it on a buster, you know, on a test piece of material, whatever you want to do, to get a feel for it before you attack your model with it.
The thing is, though, as well, I've done some testing with chipping, and it also depends on what paint you're chipping it with. You know, what sort of paint, from say Tamiya to say Vallejo. You know, from proper acrylics don't chip, I don't think, as well as lacquer-based ones. I've actually done it with proper lacquer-based as well, but you've got a window to do it in, because obviously the lacquer thinners will neutralise the hairspray or chipping fluid if you leave it too long. Yeah. But you do get more refined chipping, I find, with like lacquer paints than you do with proper. Well, if you're taking like Model Colour or Model A, because it's got latex in it, it tends to tear and rip rather than give you chips. So again, you've got to experiment with whatever you're using, paint-wise yourself, I think.
Yeah, that's it. You know, again, it's one of those, like I always say, test it, play with it, get a feel for it. You know, you get a lot of people when they buy a new product and they put it on their model and then wonder why it goes wrong. You need a little bit of understanding about it to know what you're going to get. So it's a bit like, I know people have done, and they've heard me talk about it, and they've put lacquer paint on and then it won't chip. And that's because they put such a thick coat on and they've left it for a day and come back, and it's, you know, you can't get in there because, like Matt said, the lacquers neutralise anything that's underneath it anyway, and it eats in. So it sort of defeated the object. So you need to go in. So that way, I would say, if you're new to it, go with acrylics, because then it's easier to work with and stuff like that. So it's just that thing of understanding how the product works.
But it also depends on how thick as well you put the paint over the chipping fluid, because you put a big thick paint over it, you're not going to get through it because you've put a barrier layer through it. It's better off with lighter coats or semi-covered, so then you can get to the chipping fluid underneath to reactivate that, so it does start to chip.
Yeah, definitely.
Again, to be honest with you, actually just normal Tamiya paint with X28 chips lovely. The white, I think I've done a winter whitewash before with just their XF2, I think it was, and it chipped fantastic. You got proper in scale chips, because again, to be honest, I don't know if he's still on, but the man actually is our Jamie, who's been in our chat. He's a bit of a whiz at chipping, to be honest, isn't he? He's a
chipping genius.
He's got it down to a fine art. So again, you know, and there's plenty of videos out there on YouTube and, you know, other sources about chipping. But I did actually, I didn't. I said I didn't say I met him, but I did see the man who actually kind of invented the hairspray technique at the Nantwich show.
All right.
A certain Phil I can't say his name. People who know who he is, Stukinskis, I think is how you pronounce it. But he was there, and he's got a really famous Panzer IV called Conrad 2, I think it is, or whatever. And I think that was sort of his model that kind of got famous because of the technique he'd used for the winter whitewash and everything. Yeah. He was always surrounded. Here you go. Look, Jamie's there. Look. Afternoon. I would have loved to have got him here to do a demo on it, to be honest.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you know, it's one of them. I don't know if we ever see him again. I might be cheeky enough to ask him, because I was nudging Andy, going, "Do you know who that is?" One of them. Do you know what I mean?
Right. Okay. A couple more. Stefan says his compressor is from 1985 and he's never emptied it. Still works. It just bubbles a bit. Yeah, go like that. It's like chunk with water in it. Bless it. Give it a birthday. Let it breathe.
Yeah, I found that. Jamie's just put, he prefers cheap hairspray, as I find the chipping fluids can bead up. I've actually had that. I've had it with the AK one where it's beaded up. Yeah, it's, so there you go. Cheap hairspray is the way. It's the future.
Like I always say, cheap is best though, definitely. You know, don't use the expensive ones because they grip too much.
Yeah, it is. The cheaper the better.
It's too good a product. You want something cheap and nasty.
Yeah.
Neville says he's going to be having nightmares about that pilot. Robbie says, "Dang, that's really cool. Did you make it? What, the MiG? I did. That's my own handiwork. I don't have them. I need a team who build for me, and then I could just do final bits."
Is that it? Yeah, do the good bits.
Yeah, that's it. I'll do the fun bits. You lot can do all the filling and sanding, all the junk bits.
No, you're right. I'll leave that to you.
Oh,
if anybody's not seen it on our forum, go and watch Mr. Nathan's video.
Yes.
On his Tornado.
Yes. Has he put the other one up yet?
I don't know. I know he was doing a bit of recording last night because he muted us. He did a bit of you. He just muted us and then just started. It's like he's turned into a clone of you. But with him being a teacher, he's comes over very well, shall we say? Yes. Does he not?
Oh yes, he does totally.
Yeah. So if you want to know how to build the Revell Tornado, Nathan is definitely the man who's built a few, and there he is. Look.
There he is.
And his massive workspace that I've seen, and he's like a stamp. He does really well with what he works in.
Bless him. Yeah. Phil, when you're building your Tamiya F14D, are the wings fixed position because of the bags behind the wings? See, you don't have to worry about that as long as you're not having them totally forward, because you've only got two options for the bag positions. We're talking about the pneumatic bags, not on this one because it doesn't have it, but normally on the back here. And what happens is that they inflate and deflate, so there's no void behind the wings. But the thing is, there's only two positions: fully open forward, okay, or swept and all the rest of it. Mine's in flight, so it's actually mounted on the stand, where you've probably seen the video of it, and all the rest of it. So I have my bags deflated, so it can go, if it wanted to, fully swept or anything forward. But the bags only fully inflate to make a massive difference if they were all the way forward. So I'm not worried about it because mine's in flight. So it's doing its bit around here somewhere. Hold on, let me do it. I can show you the picture. Video builds, wherever it is. Where's Tonka? Tonka. Where is it? There it is.
Just while you're getting that, you've never built the Good Morning Da Nang Phantom, have you? You've never had one?
No.
No, David's asking if you've still got the decals, but you built the Academy one, didn't you? Straight out of the box.
Yeah.
Yeah, thought so.
Yes. I haven't got a photo actually of showing it on that particular part. See, you got them down here. The only one is, if you have it right the way forward, this one's got the hump in the back, which in theory you could still squeeze it past. It's not too bad a thing on that one. But yeah, you can see them in here. So they're sort of deflated because it goes back. So I've got mine in this position because it's, you know, so it's up on a stand. So yes, but if you wanted to, you could change them out because those are such a good fit. You can flick them in and out, which, to be honest, you do it with the Hasegawa kit as well. I know everyone, I got slightly jumped on, shall we say, when I mentioned it. How dare I have an opinion, apparently. But anyway, it is that thing where if you, with the actual build, this one here, it's this bottom seam, you can flick them out if you want to, and then just interchange them as well. So where everyone was saying about, well, you couldn't change the back, well, just have them as a loose fit. If you wanted to, you could then do it each way, which is, you know, consider everyone thinks I hate on the old Bandai people. There we go. With a lot of like the Gunpla stuff and the Gundam stuff, you have interchangeable parts, and that's how they do it. So they can actually change the pose at any point and go through, and it's something I love about it. To be honest, a bit like all the Bandai kits. I've still got, because obviously I've got the Falcon in flight, but I've got all the gear down bits and everything separate and outwards. But you can, these ones will actually can ping them out and do them again. But as you can see, I've got the blags deflated. But again, would you notice it if you had the wings swept forward? Unless you're a real connoisseur, you probably wouldn't notice anyway.
I would have a tube of glue.
No. So,
no idea.
No.
So, Mark G's put up, does Nathan's video apply to the 72nd Tornado? Are they the mini versions of the 48? No, the completely different kits. But now, when he's finished that one, we'll get him to build the 72nd one. Try that one goes together. Yes, the 72nd one's an old kit. It's a good kit actually from Revell. It's the best one in 72nd by a country mile. So, yeah. And he's built a few of them. So yeah, you'll have to ask him nicely, see if we'll do a video on how to build that.
Yes.
So, no, you ever built the 72nd Tornado?
No.
No, I've built the really, really old Esky one.
Oh right, no, I don't think I've ever done that one.
Right, really
apparently, I've heard everyone has always said it's a really nice kit. It's the best one of the bunch of them all, which is amazing, especially being Revell.
And just answer Neil, no, they're not mate anymore. No. So, no.
Stefan61 says, Phil, if you don't know, I run the Devon Autistic Modelers Society Facebook page. Ryan here. Question, what's your opinion on the Airfix 172nd Phantoms? We can answer that because we've built them.
They're cracking.
You've got them all there.
Yeah,
Matt's
they're
got them in the display case. As you go into the store, we've got a display case with them all in. So we all built one. So yes, they all went together. We did them part of a live build over a few weeks. And they're very, very nice indeed. Go together, fantastic. Yeah.
Would you say best in scale? Against the Fujimi one?
I was going to say, the trouble is I always put it up against the Fujimi one because I've built a lot of Fujimi ones and they are really nice kits. But again, they're all like 90s kits. So, you know, they are showing their age a little bit. And to be honest with you, they are very, very nice. And having built the Buccaneer as well, you know, I think they're just two great kits. You know, we spoke about it when we did the show the other day. One of the members has built both of them in this little diorama base and everything. They really do look nice. You know, there's no doubt about it. You know, they look fantastic together. So, yes, I have to say, I don't know, how easy is it to get the Fujimi one anyway? Fujimi one?
The Fujimi one is actually back. Itali's reboxed it. We stock it. So you can get, I don't think you can get the Navy version. You can get the RAF one we've got, I'm sure of it. So it's back in.
Yeah.
So, because it was a bit of a, you know, it was hard to get hold of at one point. But again, Itali's reboxed it because they've done a few Fujimi kits that they're releasing at the minute, which are good Fujimi kits as well for their age, because I reckon they're from their 80s, aren't they? I don't think they're from the 90s. I think they're a bit older than that. I think they're from the late 80s.
I think so, yeah.
Because they've done the F-86 is one they've done. They've done the MiG-21.
Yeah.
The Sea King. And the Phantom so far. And I'm sure there's another one that I can't think of.
Yeah.
So, I mean, at least you've got the choice. You can get hold of it. Like I said, or a version of it. The thing is, it would be nice to actually get sort of, because they did the US versions of it, didn't they? And they did the German ones.
Yes. Yeah.
So it would be nice at some point to be able to get them again.
Yes.
Because I don't think there is any. Revell's done the German one, and then haven't they, a few years ago, I think. The F. So, yeah.
Tony says, "Hi Phil, been loving the new bite-size sessions. Have you thought of covering straightening bent plastic?" Not really. I'll be honest. That's not on my list of ones to do.
Is that not on your remit?
Oh, it's not on my remit. I've got a sheet upstairs and it's got them all listed down in there. That's how I know Declan's number 14, and we're only on number 4 or whatever it is. So yeah, it's not something that I thought of doing. Straight in plastic, it's one of those ones where I think some people, they'll see like a wing and you're like, oh, it's really bent, but then you've got the other half will straighten it when you put it together. And it's a bit like you get people with fuselage halves and it's like a banana, but by the time you got both together, it normally sorts itself out. The only trouble, obviously we do a lot of is bending things like rotors, and I usually put them over my thigh and do them that way. But I know people put them in hot water, but plastic, it doesn't really work like that. It's not like resin where you put it into water and you can do anything with it. It's always a little bit difficult on that one. I know people who put them in the oven and get them warm and trying to do things, and you're like, really? That's really easy to go too far one way. So again, sometimes it depends on what you're trying to bend and for what reason. If you're trying to bend like rotors, I do them all the time. I put them over my thigh and just brute force and ignorance. And other times I've got some solid copper bars that are really heavy, and you put them on things overnight to straighten them out. But again, if it's that memory thing, it's a bit like trying to bend metal, isn't it? If it's got a high whatever it is carbon count, it remembers where it is, and it's almost impossible to straighten it. But yeah, it's not something I've ever thought of doing. I'd have to do a bit more homework on that one.
Jamie's put up about your pilot.
Yes. Lurch.
Well, yeah, no, the other one. To be honest, Jamie, he'd put one in the basket for an order, and I took it back out because I'm like, who the hell's put that in there? I didn't realise because he never said he wanted one. So, yeah, I think it was that. It's a MiG-21 pilot in the seat, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, I was going with the Ares one because that one's all right.
Because is it Aerobonus or is Ares?
Is it? I don't know. It's one of them, isn't it? It's part.
It is. Yeah. Anyway, it's a lot nicer than
that.
Old Lurchio, isn't it?
To be honest, he doesn't look like that on the picture.
No, he doesn't. No,
he looks like nothing like
one
that
of them
on the
dating. It's like a dating picture, that
it
isn't it?
Is, yeah. Yeah. His profile picture's a lot different. Phil and Matt, do you have any experience with Dayco F104 Starfighter improvement set? No, I'll be honest with you.
No,
I'm not aware of that one at all. With the amount of F104s that are out at the moment, you're sport for choice. No, I don't know that one, I must admit. I think it's I can't even think of that one. Is that the one that comes with all the electronics equipment?
I think so, yeah. I think Dayco products are bringing out a 132nd Magister.
All right.
Because we've seen that at Telford, it was on their stand and it looks a really nice kit, to be honest. Bit of an odd subject, I think, but it's different. I do actually quite like the Forga Magister. I think it's a nice looking aircraft. So, and in 32nd, it's not massive either. It's not, you know what I mean. You upscale things, but it's not a big aircraft in real life or in in scale. So I think it'd be quite nice.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Stuart says, "Good afternoon, guys. Just curious, anyone has ever built an F-35C from Kitty Hawk in 1/48 scale? I run into some really major fit issues with the fuselage, like it doesn't fit at all." That's quite major. To be honest, I haven't built the Kitty Hawk one. As I say, I've done my little Hasegawa one, and we've seen the other ones. I did the review on it, and to be honest with you, when I did that review, because they released all three of them, they did the A, the B and the C all really together, came out within a few months of each other, and I know people who were working on the B at that point, and they were pointing out that it was horrendous. Not nice at all, because apparently it's got lots of fit issues, and obviously it's the usual thing with Kitty Hawk, or used to be. We're hoping nowadays are a bit better, but it is that thing where if you want to close it all up, it doesn't fit. The doors don't fit, nothing goes in there. But if you have it all open, it's not so bad, which is what I found with the Jaguar when I built the Jaguar. So yes, definitely one of those.
By the way, we're getting ribbed here for Buccaneers off our chat.
Why? Because you haven't done them?
Yeah, basically. Mine's not even here. I've took mine home to paint it because I can't really paint here because I'll just gas myself.
Well,
so I've took mine home to paint and then it's coming back. But Phil will paint his. What time is it? Half past 3.
It's coming up half past 3.
You can whack a bit of blue on it or whatever.
Put some blue on it. Well, I've got to do all my little areas first. Unless I do it the other way round. I was going to mask up and do all the bits on it. Right, so moving on swiftly. Danny says, really love the newest bands like Great Wall Hobbies, Ryfield Models, Border Models, etc. Do you think they will force to up the game for the older companies, Hasegawa and Dragon, for example, and Rebel? You would hope so. That's the whole point to this. You know, we've often spoke about it that Ryfield Models, their stuff is off the chart. It's really, really nice stuff. They're producing very good, high quality kits that go together very, very well, really off the bat. Meng, I like it as well. ICM over the last year or two have just come out of nowhere. Considering their stuff was mediocre, it's now really, really good. Built quite a lot of their stuff recently. You know, and it's one of those things where if I was a manufacturer, shall we say, of some of these other companies, I'd be looking over my shoulder. You know, because these companies seem to be able to bring it out very good on a good price as well, and they're releasing it. So yeah, I would be looking over my shoulder, definitely. And Hasegawa, let's face it, I don't know what they're doing at the moment. You know, it's just
I don't think they do.
But being really there, you know, in my world back in 2000, it was like Tamiya, Hasegawa, rest of the world.
Everybody else. Yeah. The thing is with Hasegawa, I think like we've touched on this before, I think they just go for their home market. I think that is their core trade, whatever you want to look at, is the Japanese market.
Yeah.
But I think with what they bring out and release is very catered for that market.
Yeah, they are playing to the home market, I think.
You know, because I mean, apart from Tamiya, a lot of the other Japanese companies are actually hard to get hold of. It's like you say, it used to be really easy to get hold of Hasegawa and Tamiya, didn't it?
Yeah.
Bandai, well, we never heard of them for a start, did you?
No.
Fujimi you could get pretty easily, I think.
Yeah.
You know, back in the late 80s, 90s. But again, they're hard to get hold of. Ashima is another one that, again, you get it in dribs and drabs, fine moulds. I mean, the list goes on and on because I do think they're just catered for the Japanese market, and I'm not saying they're not bothered about the rest of the world, but, you know, or it could be exchange rates.
Yeah.
Of getting the other people more knowledgeable than me. But obviously, Obiko tied in with Tamiya, so that's why he's a plentiful supply of their stuff over here. But again, I don't know about anybody else. Like I say, we need somebody a bit more qualified.
Yes.
In that sort of.
But definitely, you know, like everyone, we moan about Dragon as well. The trouble with Dragon, it's either all or nothing. You know, there's just nothing out of Dragon, and all of a sudden, like from a stock point of view as well, obviously we deal with one of our suppliers with them, and it's like they're the major importer, and they don't even know what they're getting. You know, it just tends to be that they put in an order, and whatever turns up is what turns up. You know, it's a bit of a mystery. You know, but again, we spoke about it because at one point when we did the thing last year for the Apollo, anniversary, and we were going through that, we were really looking forward to obviously all the Dragon stuff coming out. We've been briefed that it was coming out, and it turned up 2 months after the anniversary. So
what's the point of that?
That's
just turned up.
Boat. And yeah, that's a classic. That was due out last year. You know?
We're in March, and that's just tipped up. So
yeah.
You know, Dragon's a bit of a lord to themselves. I mean, I've had this conversation this morning. I went to see Gary at Tiger, and we and him are of the same opinion of it. But it's not bad stuff.
Yes.
That's the thing, you know what I mean? It's not like a bad kit. They're not. They really actually are quite good kits. But you don't know what you're getting when you gain it. I mean, I've just got their new catalogue. It got dropped off with a Nuzarevta catalogue and a Tamiya catalogue, yeah? I might as well just chuck it in the bin because what is in there, half of it you can't get.
Yeah.
So it's no good in an ornament of having a catalogue and thinking, well, if we stop this, and then you get in touch and go, no, they ain't got that, we can't get that. It's just like, well, what's the point of having it then? It's just, you know.
And also the trouble you find with Dragon as well is that their kits aren't cheap.
No.
You know, So, we've said before is that you can look at other manufacturers for a like-for-like kit and get it a lot cheaper. So, you have to be quite a die-hard fan of Dragon to buy Dragon kit sometimes. Even from a business point of view of me and Matt, we've got a warehouse full of kits that be out there, but there's not much Dragon in there.
No, there is Dragon there, but again, you've got to take, I think you've got to take in consideration, again, was having this conversation of, if you're buying a Dragon kit, most of the time you'll get now photo etch, a metal barrel, if we're going for the armour stuff. So actually, if you're going to buy somebody else's kit and then you go, well, I need some photo etch for it, I need a set of tracks, I need this, that and the other, they're probably going to come in at the same price, if not more. Do you know what I mean? But for some reason, they've got this sort of, I don't know, stigmatism over them at the minute. I don't know what it is. I can't work out why they're not selling. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's for the consumer to decide, I suppose.
Yeah, I think, at the end of the day, if you're after a specific kit, like we said before, and they make it, then that's where you're going to go. But if you've got a like-for-like choice on things,
Yeah.
then
if you go for a Tiger One, just say we take a Tiger One kit, I go for Ryefield Models one every day of the week now.
To be honest, Ryefield, all the stuff they're releasing is so nice, you're thinking, could it be Ryefield, And I like Meng as well, and stuff like that. And it's like, it's good stuff, all of it. Very nice stuff. Right, here's another question on something like that. Danny was, all right, that's Danny. We've also got Stefan, I'll come back to you because somebody else says, Phil and Matt, what is your opinion on the old Hella kits? I like to rescribe and scratch build the cockpit, etc.
Do you know what? I actually quite like the old Hella kits. Do you know, in the day, I thought they were really nice kits, and they did some interesting subjects. They're so far behind everybody else now, it's like they're in another universe to me. They've never just reinvented themselves or kept up, even Airfix, you know what I mean? Have clicked on that we need to retool stuff. Hella's just stagnated. I know obviously they've been out of business, they've been bought out, they've been taken over and everything, but they just don't seem to be going anywhere. That's the problem.
And to be honest, that's what we're saying about, you've got these other companies coming along now who are producing kits very quickly at very high quality, that go together, and then you've got other companies like Hella, and it's like, what they're doing. So they're going to get left behind, and that's the trouble. But having said that, you're saying about Hella, I have a soft spot for Matchbox. Well,
that's it.
And the like about it, because again, I think it's that thing of old school. Like Airfix now, they've reinvented themselves. They're spending a bit of money, thank God, and they're really starting to ramp up the business again, and they haven't stagnated. But as I say, Hella's one of those companies where you look at it and you think, what have they got now? Unless you're a kit collector, or as you say, you like rescribing, and that. They've got a couple of kits which, they're the only people who do them. Like I'm thinking of their CL142, is it? Water bombers and stuff like that. I quite fancy doing one of them, and it's the only kit of choice. So, if you're going to do it, that's where you're going to have to go. But nowadays, because of these other companies coming along, and obviously with a lot of companies retooling kits and do them again and that, they are really being left behind. And unless they pick a niche and go for it, or invest in
the thing is, though, they have got their niche because they're French. And it's like Nigel's put on air, the man obsessed with World War II French bombers, or two of them, or both one of them. But they have got their own niche, because obviously a lot of the Hella kits that released were French aircraft, weren't they? The 72nd stuff, or what the French have used in their Air Force post-war or whatever. So I think the niche is there. It's just they need to upgrade the old tool kits, I suppose, retool them, or reinvent themselves. I mean, some of their car kits were great in the day, to be fair. The ships weren't too bad, if I remember. Then they did they did something else as well, which again weren't bad in the day. But if you're taking it to the standards of now, they've just I
think the trouble is I say, because of the way manufacturing's done now, and it's all CAD and computer, and they could do like a, as I say, quickly put together a 3D printed mock-up and things like that now, is that the time it used to be from, thinking about building a kit to getting it released is getting shorter and shorter normally. But you know, for a company now which has got quite a large back catalogue, what to do with it? Because they can't afford to redo it all. You know, do they cherry pick some items and perhaps think about that to redo those and then try and build on the company name and move forward? The trouble is, when you've got a big dinosaur behind you, is how do you pull that into modern, you know, and get it moving along? Don't get me wrong, companies can do it. ICM, I think, are a classic example of it. You know, ICM, you know, a few years ago, most people wouldn't even hear of them, you know, and wouldn't certainly think about, oh, I'm going to go and buy an ICM kit, because they did do some stuff, don't get me wrong, and some of it was very nice, but it's few and far between. Now they've reinvented themselves and they've come out. We know they've taken on some key staff members and things like that and invested into it, and now they are really batting them out. You know, like the Gladiators just come out. We just got the Mark II Gladiators come out. They've been doing their MiG-25s. They've been reboxed as well by other companies. Their bombers and all the rest of it. So companies can do it, but it must be at an incredible expense. You know.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not sitting here, you know, criticising. It is. It's going to be but I mean, Airfix have reinvented themselves after how long, didn't they? Yeah. But obviously, they're under the umbrella of another company as well. So, what do? Surely you have to make that decision at some point of what do you do? Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, of course you do. Yeah.
But saying that, if you release the right kit at the right time, it can make your company.
Yes, of course it can.
But it can flip the other way and it can backfire. So I don't know. Like I say, not my field of expertise, I'm afraid.
Yes.
But yeah, there you go.
Good kit.
Very clean.
Very clean.
It's nice,
very clean.
I think it's. Sorry, can I answer David here?
Yeah.
Because you'll do this. An F4D. Apart from Zukimura, who does one in 48, is it the old Asagawa one? Well, that's raised panel lines, isn't it?
Yeah, you can't do that because it was the BN and the CD, if I remember rightly, which they are, they're going to be raised panel lines. So your option is Zukamori, which would probably, now the prices come down on those, hasn't it? No? Or has it gone back up?
I think you do a D. Academy,
that's what I was going to say. But we were discussing the other week, weren't you? Because you were saying to me, because I said Zukamori too expensive, and you said it's all right, there's not a lot in it now.
No, again, Academy's gone up. If you can get Academy, again, it's another company that's really quite odd for us to get over here for whatever reason. The Academy, there's the Academy one and the Zukimori one, isn't there, that do Ds. And then you've got the really, really old Monogram one. Is it?
Yeah.
No. And then, has Asagawa ever done a D then or not?
Yes, they did, but it's the old raised panel line. They did BN and they did the CD, but they are. Where is it? Where's mine?
So anyway, where David is, Academy, because he's out that way.
Where's mine? Hold on, I'm trying to find mine.
What?
Yours
a B. Yours a B, isn't it?
Where is it? That's the Academy.
That's the B, yeah.
Yeah.
I say you've never done a B
kit, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Sorry, do apologise. Satellite delay there, but yeah, that's the Academy for the B.
Yeah.
There we go. Is this in? Yes. There we go. Which again, depending what was available currently at the moment, which probably not going to be a lot anywhere, but for bang for buck, I really like the Academy ones. I think you've got basically everything you need straight out of the box to make a really, really nice kit without having to need to spend any money on it. The Zukamori one, I have to say, for being honest, I've never built one. I've seen lots of them built, but in my mind, they were always too expensive. Not when you've got this one, But then this one is light years ahead of anything the Hasegawa ones. As far as I'm concerned, the three options are Hasegawa, the J kit, which I've got somewhere. It's down there now because I was using it the other day. The J kit, still really, really nice if you can find it, and it's at the right price. But really, the Academy one's very nice because they do the BN version, which that one is. They do the CD and they do the J. The only one they've never brought out is the E and the F, isn't it? They've
never done them.
They haven't done that one yet. So, but yeah, that's where I would go for, is into that one. But
do you know what I think's happened to Academy? I don't know this. This is nothing I've heard. But do you think they're tooling for other people now?
Well, it seems to be it.
Because they they do release sporadic kits now and again, but there aren't many of them. So I wonder if they're more into tooling for other people than releasing their own stuff.
It's a shame because Academy seem to have really jumped on. They're doing this, slide molding now, or slip molding, whatever you want to call it. And some of their stuff has been actually very, very nicely done. But again, they seem to be doing a lot of work for other people. Perhaps this is the way that they do it these days.
That's where the money is.
Yeah, that's it.
Designing stuff for other people rather than producing their own. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it does look nice.
Yeah, no, it does. It does come out really nice kit, to be honest. It's one of those ones where it's got everything you need, recessed details all the way through. So I closed it up and stuck it on a pole. It's on a different stand now again. So, But yes, no, it's a smart looking jet. Like it.
Just too many stencils for me.
Do have a few.
Oh yeah, more than 2 decals is more than enough for me. I'm into number plates now.
Yeah, that's it. But yeah, no, it is a nice, good kit.
It is a smart looking kit.
Very nice.
You should actually build a Zukimori one just to do a comparison.
A side-by-side comparison, really. To see how they
could build the S or...
Yeah, do a Marine Corps S or something else like that, yeah.
No, I reckon you ought to do the Vietnam camo.
What, do Southeast Asia camo on it?
A D one.
Do a D or a C, yeah.
That'd be good.
Do that. I'll do very nice ones. Right, okay, a few more questions in here. So we've got, this was it. Stefan was saying, Phil, was there any Maltese markings for the Gladiator kit? I don't think there is there? Those ones that come in it, which are, he says, because I thought I had them here actually. What was done with them? I've lost them. I had them here. Here they are. No, not. I've lost it.
What did he ask? Sorry.
If there's markings available to do the Maltese markings for the Gladiator at the box.
Is that a Sea Gladiator though?
Were they CD Gladiators? Were they? In that case, it isn't out yet. That's the ones you get.
I don't know. I'm just asking. Was that a Sea Gladiator that was in Malta? Because I think that boxing is due out.
Yeah, it is coming. Because obviously we've done. Mine's the Mark 1. The Mark 2 got released the other week, and then they're bringing out the Sea Gladiator.
Yeah.
So it wasn't it Hope, Faith, and Charity, wasn't it?
Something like that. Or yeah.
Those were the ones.
And then they're bringing out one in foreign service as well.
Yeah.
So.
Highly recommended kit. Very, very nice.
Yeah. It is.
There
you go. The Malta Gladiators were Mark 2 and Sea Gladiators. Well, the Mark 2 one's out, and I'm sure the one we've got on thingy is probably a Malta one.
Right, okay. So it's
I'm not 100%. You'd have to do your research on Tinterweb.
Yeah.
But yeah. So thanks, Nigel, for that. There you go.
Phil and Matt, how do you think the modelling hobby will look like after the corona crisis? Funny enough, we were discussing this earlier whilst we were doing orders.
Yeah, we were. Yeah. Well, it's gonna affect a lot of people, especially in the hobby. You know what I mean? But obviously we can't.
I think really, the problem that we've got, quite rightly so, is that I think most of the shows this year are going to be knocked on the head.
Yep.
And the reason I say rightly so as well is that, let's face it, if I look at my demographic of my membership, even on YouTube, as well as obviously with the subscribers and things like that, it literally is 45 to sort of 60 plus. That's where we are. We are a more mature group of gentlemen and ladies. But at the end of the day is that you do have to think about your health, underlying health issues and things like that. To go to a show and to be spreading it round, I don't think is a wise thing to do. As I said, I've got a medical professional, my partner, and everything else like that, and she's currently now pulling her hair out in a hospital, in a trauma centre, doing as we speak. And from the feedback I've been getting from her is that, you should be okay if you're healthy and all the rest of it, but if you've got anything underlying, you don't want to be spreading this stuff around.
No.
And, let's face it, and I'm just being honest, model shows, they're not the most hygienic places. I'll not be funny, but there is a lot of coughing and spit flying everywhere, without being, anybody who's been to one will know. So, I think in some ways that, if we all have a bit of a break from it, we'll be fine. Our worry is, from a hobby point of view, is that the smaller companies who depend on the model shows that they attend every weekend and all the rest of it, if there's no shows, how are they going to make any money? It's great. It's no problem for us because we're online. We do all of our work is online, and a tiny percentage is what we do at shows or people coming through the door. But 99% of everything we do is all online, so it doesn't affect us. As long as we said before, as Matt said earlier, as long as people can, pick up their orders obviously from the store, or as long as we can post it, we are unaffected. It doesn't affect us whatsoever, short of actually going down with it and having a couple of days off. Yeah. But, so from that point of view, I don't. But my worry would be smaller cottage industries who, depend on the show circuit, shall we say. If they haven't got an online presence, I think they're really going to struggle. So it just depends. Do they just literally shut up the doors and just try and ride it out and live on the savings, or do they fold? It's going to be a tricky one at the end of it. But we've been through things like this before. Not quite like this, obviously, but other things have happened, and everyone's been like, it's the end of the world. Like anytime YouTube changes anything, apparently that's it. The world's going to end. But it just carries on. No one cares, and hopefully this will be very much like it. But my advice is to everybody is just self-contained, keep yourself to yourselves, don't spread it round, let it die out, and then we'll all come out of this stronger, and hopefully we've lessons learned from it all, and away we go again. But at the moment, I think it's just going to get worse, personally.
Oh, it's got to peak before it gets better, isn't it? Especially in this country anyway. I mean, obviously around the world's different from they probably peaked or peaking or whatever, but us in this country have got to get to that stage before we get out of it again. So like I say, the on-church show's cancelled. Well, we don't think, and earliest is September, we'll see a model show again.
Yes, yeah.
I mean, as PM, we are booked in to go to the Driffield show, which is September. Mm-hmm. And we'll see then. And you're thinking, God, we're only in March.
Yeah, that's
you know what I mean? Middle of March. Mm-hmm. But we've got to come and get out of it. So, Yeovil model show were cancelled. To be honest with you, they're all going to go. Everything. You know what I mean? It's like, it is what it is. I think from a personal point of view, this is the perfect hobby, to be honest, because you kind of isolate yourself anyway, don't you?
Somebody put up that picture, which I thought was very funny. It was saying about self-isolating modelers, and they're all laughing. One, I thought that was very clever.
Is that the one from Goodfellas?
Yeah. Self-isolate for 2 weeks.
And as long as the internet's working,
yes,
then you're always in contact with people now. Before the internet or whatever, then yes, you probably would have been slightly isolated apart from immediate friends, but obviously with the internet, we're doing this today, and God knows how many people are watching. I ain't got any figures, but it's a social thing, isn't it? We can make it more of a social thing, and that's why, I mean, we're taking some flack off our chat, and all right, hands up about the Buccaneers, but like we've said, we are going to do them because of this. We're in the same sort of not full lockdown, but the same situation everybody else is. So it's an ideal time for us to do them.
Yeah.
Absolutely an ideal time for us to get them finished. So we're definitely going to do them, 100%. I know we keep saying it and then it sort of gets sidetracked and whatever, but what we're going to do is we'll have the chat on, I think, but it's not going to be as it is today. Because obviously modelling and chatting and watching that is, or we're going to do one each, aren't we? What you say, you do some spraying or whatever.
I spoke to Matt about this before we came on air. I think the best way of doing it is that, because obviously if we're both spraying, it's literally like watching paint dry. So what I thought is that we'll take it in turn. So if Matt wants to spray and do bits, then I'll talk to you guys, and I can talk to him at the same time, and then we'll rotate it. So that way, it's not like, we've had it before. All four of us have been online spraying at once. Well, that's bloody riveting,
Yeah, well, that's the problem, isn't it?
But I have set up. I've got a camera now set up, down here in the back.
I don't know.
Down in here, so I can do it all. I've got it all set up for hopefully over the next. There we go.
Technical. There's my other overhead. So that'll be back in business.
So, so what our plan is, we've spoken about this, me and Matt, over the last couple of days, is that we'll do a lot of this, as we're doing right now, hopefully keep you all entertained. So it's a bit like a group all together. And then the same thing, obviously you guys can, obviously the forum guys mainly can post up your pictures and that. We've got the link into it now, into the forum, so we can show you work as we go. It was the thing, and seriously, obviously we always have the Easter egg hunt every year for 2 weeks. But this year, I think we're going to call it the Corona hunt. Because Corona's just circle, so, and it's egg shaped, anything that's egg, circular, anything else like that, but it will just mainly be just fun, and then that way we don't have to keep yabbing on about it. We can forget about it for a couple of hours whilst we're on air, and if we go for it, isn't it?
We did say we were going to have a virus-free afternoon, didn't we? So we're trying to keep positive and and talk about the hobby really, but obviously is the main bit of news at the minute, so it's obviously going to come up, but. Even like I say, if we could distract, not yourselves, but whatever for an hour.
Yeah.
If we come on for an hour, we'll do a bit of a kit or whatever. You can, like I say, we'll do it as a turkey shoot. Really, that was the plan, wasn't it?
Yeah, basically, for you guys who've watched us ever do the turkey shoot, where we do live, we usually do like 2.5 hours, 3 hours in the morning, then again in the afternoon and evening. It might not follow that exact thing, but that's what we do over the course of 4 or 5 days. But we're thinking like afternoons or evenings, things like that. We can come on with you guys.
Yeah, but even if it's not me and Phil,
enjoy it, and in that way for the members and all the rest of it, or you can send over your photos to us. We can show your work online as well to share it, and we all get through this together.
Exactly. But I would have thought at some point it's like Andy will be away from work, and Nathan, as a teacher, I think well what we've gathered, and Friday is going to be shut down for schools.
Yeah.
I think for Doncaster anyway. I think like Leslie's had a few emails and stuff, so. It means like Lydia's not going to be at school, so there is going to be a lockdown at some point for this country. So when it comes, then obviously we've got past time of day as well, haven't we?
Absolutely.
Really. So
right. Well, I've got a picture of a young lady who says "Call me." How does that even work on live chat? Clearly, I'm not clicking that.
Nice.
Anyway. It says, hello guys, does anyone do a new tool 1/72 F8F Bearcat?
Ooh. A 1/72 one?
Yeah.
I know 48th ones, but 72nd I don't, if I'm honest. I know like Academy did a 48th one and Hobby Boss.
Yeah.
I don't know about 72nd.
Do you know what? 72nd, I've drawn a blank on that. I can't think of anyone who does it in 72nd. I'm sure someone must do.
You know who might have done one?
Hella.
Yeah. Because the French used them.
Yeah. And obviously I've got their Trojan and that.
Don't quote me on that because I don't know. If anybody in our chat knows if anybody does a 1/72 Bearcat, let us know. Do you know something? That's an ideal sort of kit for special hobby, sword.
Yeah.
One of them, to get on because a few countries used them. There's a few variants.
Yeah.
Richard, that Discovery, it's being auctioned. He's not building it. I'm going to auction it.
What's that?
Your Discovery.
No, you're not.
I am.
You can't. I've started it.
No, you haven't.
I have.
Don't lie to me.
No, seriously, I have. It has been, yeah.
I know you lie. Your lips are moving. Revel do one.
Do they?
There you go. Revel, yeah, they do.
There you
go. Well, thank you, James, for that.
There you go.
I don't know how available it is. I don't think it's actually in production, but yeah.
Apparently, I didn't realise this. Fujimi, 48 scale F4E Phantom. I didn't know they did one.
Oh, that's old.
To say, is that going to look like the Esky kit?
Probably, yeah. It's going to be of that era of the 80s, early 80s or whatever. I don't think it's great.
So there you go. Speaking of this shows how bad it was. When I used to do commission work, I was doing a commission on a load of Phantoms once. And so what we ended up doing was I was buying the old Esky Phantom bins because I needed the nose off of it and the tail and then I was cutting them off F4 Phantoms, the Hasegawa kit, and grafting them on and doing them that way because they were so cheap. You could literally buy in those days the Hella kit cheaper than the old Esky Phantom, cheaper than you could buy the upgrade kit for it in resin and do it that way. And I did it to about 20 of them. Right, who do you think does the best 1/72 MiG-19?
Oh, Well, KP now.
Yeah. Have I still got it? Have I sent it back? No, I've still got it. As done in the review. Quick, where's the review page?
To be honest, there ain't many other options for it. I know Trumpy is supposed to be bringing a 72nd version out, so, but I don't know when that'll be. But that one's not a bad little kit.
Yes.
Apparently, there's a lot of the Bearcats. Sword have actually done one. I didn't realise. Frog Hasegawa.
Oh right.
Hasegawa would be the old frog one, though, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Sword molds from 2000. There you go. And somebody's asked me what's happened to the bison. Nothing. It's still in its box. and what's going to happen to it? Nothing. It's still in its box.
That's it. Hold on. Look. There you go. That's the KP one. I have to say, their decals, see them in here, they are so thin. I mean, they're uber. You can hardly see. I was checking to make sure I had carrier film. It's that thin.
Yeah.
So they are quite nice, I must admit.
I've learned a lesson, you know.
What's that?
From doing this with you.
What?
Don't say anything about what you might want to build.
Yeah, oh yeah. Welcome to my
be honest
world.
With you, I am going to be sort of honest here. I change my mind faster than I change my underwear when it comes to building stuff. I flit and I've not got no interest in aircraft. Well, yeah, I don't know. It's just, you know, at the minute I've got no interest in building aircraft. I've just, you know, I will finish the Buccaneer off because obviously we're committed to that, but I won't see myself building another one for a while.
It's a good one here because, sorry, just interrupting. Phil and Matt, would you ever consider doing a Matchbox out of the box nostalgia live build?
Yeah, I'd do one.
Because I've done it. I did it last year. Here it is. I did. Back from my childhood, and this was a live build, wasn't it? We did
it was a 1 day build.
It was like a 1 day build. I did this.
It was
2
days.
I built it in a day as a bit of a laugh. Hold on, let me get me thingy over. Where are we? It's actually this was a little bit of a nod back to my childhood because this is the kit, one of my first ever kits I built. Obviously, it didn't look like this, but I did this completely out of the box. And actually, considering its age, we worked it out. This is now 40. I think it's 45 years old now. So it's probably 46 years old now.
It's got recessed panel lines.
But it's all recessed panel lines. And actually, it didn't have a fat. I don't remember it going together quite this well when I built it as a kid, because like clearly it was like awful. But yes, but even the decals went on. These are all original. We got hold of this kit dirt cheap at a show once.
Yeah.
And I just whacked it together. But the decals even worked and everything else. But yeah. It was all
you know what? You need to get the proper whole hog and hang it off your lighting rig like you used to do off your bedroom ceiling.
Yes, I think so. Definitely.
You really should.
I don't know where the stand went. I had the original stand for it, but I seem to have lost the stand. But I did it last year, and yeah, that was the thing. That's like the whole thing. It was supposed to be a nostalgia build, so I must admit I built that one. The guys were making fun of me, and I did it as a 1 day build. We built it in a day. Built and painted and everything in 1 day. Good job, that was.
Yeah, I used to do it as a kid, innit?
So,
yes. You know, I don't mind the old Matchbox kits. I know they don't have much detail compared to new kits, but I always thought they went a lot better together, a lot better than the old Airfix kits.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, the one for this year I might do because I've spoken about this, boring everyone to death again, but when I was a kid, on the dining table, my dad brought home for me this giant piece of cardboard, which to me was massive, and I painted it black, and then I put some tape on it, which was masking tape because it was white, to make lines, I had an aircraft carrier, so it was just roughly the shape, not to scale or anything, but it was on there, and then I built, over the course of like a couple of years, I think it was like 6 Tomcats, some Phantoms, some Corsairs. I had, I can't even remember whose kits they were, but I had a couple of Vikings, a couple of Prowlers, and I had a Hawkeye, and I literally had an entire air wing on top of it. So my next one for this year is to do the Tomcat.
What, the old Matchbox Tomcat?
Do the old Tomcat. Go with this one then.
So, all right.
Because we were talking about, you were saying your favourite markings is the X1, the Wolfpack ones.
Yeah,
That's what I had on my carrier deck. They were all Wolfpack ones, you see.
Right.
So that'd be the one for the nostalgia to do that again.
Do you remember their old A10?
Yes. Yes.
Was that like the prototype one? Because it's in like a grey on the box.
I think it literally was. Yeah.
But yeah, to be honest with you, somebody just put up. I think. Well, I don't think I built. I think my dad built them. But all the armor kits with the bases.
Yeah, they get the little base with it. Yeah.
Yeah, and you get the little. I tell you what, I'd do them. I would build them again if you wanted it. I might have to get hold of because Revels reboxed them, aren't they? So I'd probably have to get hold of a newer boxing of it. But it would be probably that. And yeah, I'd do one of them. Hey, they did a Buckeye, didn't they?
That was it. Yeah.
Yeah. They did some. Yeah, they did some interesting subject. Yeah, they did. I think I've got an old Matchbox catalogue at home.
Bring it in.
From
we'll go
87,
through that next week.
Yeah, I'll bring them in. I've got old Hella one, an old Esky one, an old Azagawa one from 1988, a Tamiya one from late 80s. We used to get the dioramas in the middle, and then the Linden ones.
That's it.
What else is there? I don't know. I've got some proper old catalogues. Italy one, I think, from some God knows early 90s. Yeah, I should bring them in, shouldn't we? Never flick through and a bit of a nostalgia. Well, if we're doing these, I will do. I'll dig them out and bring them in.
Definitely. Right, let me just rattle through some of these. Where were we? Out of the box. Did Dragon ever make the Star Wars kits?
No.
No, it was, who was it? Used to do AMT, did them, wasn't it?
Yeah, Dragon was going to do a 70-second attack, weren't they? But obviously with the licensing with Disney, it never materialised.
Yes. Yeah.
I think that's what happened anyway.
That was it. They were going to do a 35th scale one, wasn't it? Or something ridiculous.
That was it, yeah. Sorry,
massive.
35th one. It would have been huge. It would have been cool, though, wouldn't it?
It would have been brilliant. I would have built it clearly in a heartbeat. I would have had an entire flock of them. I'd put around the garden.
You'd have had the Battle of Hoth going off, wouldn't you?
It would have been the redone of Hoth. So, yes. What do we got? Always loved the Phantom. Was my first aircraft kit. I received my 12th birthday. From a schoolmate, the Phantom Wild Weasel, ages ago. Cool kit.
Hey, Rob's just put AMT Star Destroyer. Shocking.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Funny enough, I built them all as a kid where they were awful, but there you go. Didn't know any better back then.
I'll tell you what I did have, an R2-D2 and a C-3PO.
Yeah.
Were they MPC ones, were they?
Yeah.
The originals. I remember having them on me shelf. Above my captain's bunk bed.
Danny says, problem for most of us is not running out of kits, but it's running out of paint and glue. Fear not, Danny, that's why we're here. PM models.
Get onto the PM site.
Yeah, hold on. Where are I've got you here somewhere. Where is it? There it is. Look, PM site. Where are we? Quick.
Paints, glues, sundries. Where are we? There we go, look. Tamiya lacquers, go up a bit, you're going too far.
Sorry.
Top. There you go, Attacker, Mr. Colour, I don't know, all sorts.
Yeah,
and we're adding to it as well after this has passed, aren't we?
When we get this done, we'll get the new acrylic range in.
Yeah.
So.
I spoke to somebody about the other one today.
Oh, right, okay, fair enough.
So, yeah, he says, yeah, give us a shout when we're ready. So I said, well, obviously, let this blow over.
Yes.
And then we'll discuss it. We'll get it in and sorted, so, yeah.
Cool. Right, let me just run through these and then we'll end, I think, because we're running out of time. Oh, God, I've lost where I was now. Oh, dear, hold on. I've made that fatal mistake of clicking to the bottom to see how many questions. Now I've lost where I was.
Oh, no. James has got... Sorry, I'll just... While you're looking. I have a Matchbox Theory Sea Fox in my stash, my bogey kit.
Ooh.
I remember that's a biplane, isn't it? The old Sea Fox. Yeah, I remember that. Again, nobody else would release that, would they? I don't even think anybody would probably release that now. So, oh look, that's a thingy kit. Matchbox Halifax and a Privateer.
Oh, Privateer. Wasn't it Rob doing something with a Privateer?
He wanted to do a 48th one, but he needed a certain conversion and he couldn't get hold of it. Yeah. There's two conversions out to the 48th one, and it was obviously the one's a vac form and one with resin, I think.
Oh, right. I remember doing the Matchbox Privateer as a kid and making a complete hash of the clear parts, all of it.
Yeah.
Just because it's a lot of glasswork, it's got bubbles and turrets and everything all over that thing, and it looked horrendous. I think I painted over all the clear parts, just paint them all black.
I've got is it a Dornier 18 up there? The old sea thing, because I did have but I think we auctioned it off. I did, because I had the Strand Raw, where it was two. That's gone in an auction, but. Yeah, I've got the Dornier 18, the flying boat, I think, up there that they did. Do we sell toilet rolls by any chance? Not yet.
And to the lowlifer who walked into Derriford Hospital day before yesterday and broke all the toilet things and nicked all the loo roll. Sad. Sad. You know the big ones where it's like got 5 rolls in it?
Yeah.
They broke into all of them and nicked them all. It's like, really? Anyway, let's see what kind of social hobby in the 80s turned nowadays as one of the best solo activities, which you can share with lots of people thanks to the internet. The internet has saved it, and it saved this definitely. I know some of the guys were talking in our forum about obviously a lot of the IPMS clubs and the model clubs have closed because of this, but as you said, just do it online, isn't it? That's now with the power of technology.
You could have a model club on Skype.
Yeah, just Skype it. Yeah.
Skype me and have a model group.
Yeah.
And as Patrick said, people are idiots. Sometimes they are, mate, I'm afraid.
Stefan says, can you get these from Hannant's? Top notch, whatever it is. Gloucester Gladiator, C Gladiator, Malta markings. It was just if there was any in the box. Oh, right. So you just want to see if there's any markings in it. I don't know. We'll have a look after the show. Right, where are we? Apparently, Art Model and Attack Squadron did an F8F/2 Bearcat.
All right, there's a few out there then.
Yeah.
Davies put, which oil colour should I use for weathering aircraft and fading wing colours? Depends what colour your aircraft is, I think. Yeah, which aircraft is it for?
Yes.
Matchbox Harriers. Oh my god.
Yeah, I remember them, thinking about them. I remember the box. I tell you what, the weird thing is, I can picture the box art, not the kit.
It's a Mark 1 where it's just hovering over the... Yeah, and the Land Rover in the background, is
That's
it?
the one, yeah.
Yeah, God, that bad. You can remember that. Can't remember what I did like 2 hours ago, but I can remember a box art on a Matchbox kit from the 1970s.
Sorry, the guys are all just reminiscing here about the old Matchbox stuff from
there you
the
go.
70s.
We should have a Matchbox build, shouldn't we?
This is it. I think we should, because I like Matchbox. It's all right.
I'd join in. I say, if we're doing these things, then dig out your old Matchbox kits.
Yeah,
so instead of doing like the turkey shoot.
Yeah. We'll have a Matchbox one for that instead.
Yeah.
Oh, look, apparently Corona update, the Scottish Nationals are cancelled. I thought they might be.
Yeah, I think that was going to happen anyway, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So
Peter says, really loving the 2-hour plus show. It's just what I need during the CB crisis. Absolutely. Well, that's why we're planning on doing it, guys.
Yeah.
Vickers. What's that? Wesley.
A Wellesley.
Wellesley. What's one of them? I can't think.
It's that. It's that. It's got really long wingspan.
All right.
Single engine thing looks like. Oh god. Got like an engine off a Lysander, and it's got a bubble sort of observation back rear.
Yeah,
thing.
I know the one now. Yeah.
Do you know which one I mean?
Yeah, it looks like it belongs in Wacky Races.
Yeah, I think Ballum's re-released one. I hope Telfer's not cancelled as well. Nigel said he'd be up for a Matchbox group build.
Yes.
Well, I don't think it'd be a group build. I think we'd just do it as a bit of a social
one. Yeah.
Through this.
We've got one here. Phil and Matt, any idea if you guys will get a restock of Great Wall Hobbies? Ooh.
Well, we can actually get them again. But obviously our supplier are out, and I think they're waiting to get their stocks from China.
Right.
So at some point, but and there is a but to this, they're going to be expensive. They are expensive. Right. I don't know whether the prices. I don't know how that works, but honestly, they're not going to be as cheap as, definitely nowhere near as what we had them before. If we get them in again, price wise. So yeah.
Oh, right. Lawrence says that he's done a MiG-29 and he's almost got it done, but he didn't do any progress thread. Can he still post it in the final results of the SIG? No. Seems harsh, but no, because obviously the whole point is that you document your build all the way through and then you post it up at the end. But honestly, just if you've done it, just put it up into the actual gallery section, and then I'll showcase it on the Friday shows, and then it goes out to the general public anyway.
Yeah.
So put it in there.
Phil's put. He's got the 132nd Puma helicopter.
Oh yeah.
In his stash, and he's probably going to do that next. I never read that. Did you ever build a 32nd? Like, is that the one you ruined on the?
Yeah, it melted
on the dashboard, or whether you put it on the parcel shelf.
It was on the parcel shelf of my mum's Sierra.
Yeah, I remember you. Yeah.
It was a very hot summer that year. I don't know which one it would have been, in like 80s, I think it was, early 80s. But I had built it, and we were moving house. So to keep it safe, I put it literally in full sunlight, like you do. Shut the car, because obviously it's the hatchback, 5-door, and then literally it just went. The rotors went bleh, and they physically melted like that. So yeah.
Why is that? Why is that helicopter so overlooked with manufacturers?
I don't know, because again you've got the Cougar as well, isn't it? Which is the military type version of it, which was on the French side, and quite a few countries fly that.
Yeah.
So
the only one, I mean, there's like, as a Puma that I know of as a kit, right? There's the old Airfix one, the 72nd, and that is it. The Cougar Italeri did.
Yeah.
I remember seeing that, which has not been available for God knows how long. And then nothing in 48 that I know of. I don't know if Hella's done one in 150th. That odd scale that they used to work in. They might have done it. And then there's the 32nd Matchbox one. And I can't think of any others. But it's quite a popular helicopter, so it's a bit bizarre why it's so overlooked.
Peter's got the old BF 109E 32nd Matchbox kit.
Yeah, James has said he's got the 32nd Tiger Moth and also the 32nd Dauntless. So, yeah, there's a few out there.
It is good.
Yeah.
The great Ray Rimmel thought that the Matchbox were always good with biplanes.
Yeah.
Having the Seafox, the Fury, all look really nice. Yeah, it is. See, one of those things. Unfortunately, everyone thinks that old kits back in the day were crap, but actually I think Matchbox were pretty good kits. There was some proper rubbish out in those days, but those ones weren't so bad. So.
Yeah, but I thought it was all right. Who else made a H-34 chopper besides Revell? What?
That's the one you did, isn't it?
Yeah, Gallery Model's done a 48th one. Italeri's done a 72nd one. Who else has done one? I'm sure there's some others.
Yeah, what's the company who did them recently? Did the 48 scale ones?
Gallery Models. That's the one I've built.
One, yeah.
Trump are re-releasing them.
Oh, right. I was going to
say. Tell you what, as well, that's a cracking kit. It's a really, really nice kit. Full engine, which you can have open, you know, show the engine, and really good cockpit detail, good cabin detail. It's a good kit. It's a really nice kit.
Very good.
So, yeah. Right.
Okay. Just finishing off, apparently Canada has now closed its border to the US. I'm surprised it's taken them this long. I thought they would have done it years ago.
You don't mean it, everybody. It's only joking.
I'm only playing. Bless. Right, thank you very much. And don't forget to like, subscribe and hit that bell if you want to hear us again. See, been practicing that all week. So from our point of view, we'll be back on tomorrow night, 7:30, until whenever. Right the way through, and then Friday I'll be with you with obviously the next part of this little guy. I have got some reviews. Matt's going to send some more down to me, but I've got some figures over there to do and a couple of other little bits and pieces, so I'll sort those out with you as well. But as I said, mainly I'm trying to crack on with this thing. As I say, I might try and get this in primer tonight, and then obviously it'll be into paintwork and so forth and so on, but we'll get that one sorted out to make our way through. So yes, but no, thank you for joining us, everybody. As I said, we intend to do quite a lot of these right the way through. So all jokes aside, if you do want to subscribe to the YouTube channel and then hit the bell, you will get an email when we're about to go live and stuff like that as well. Not that I ever normally promote YouTube whatsoever, but obviously if you are want to watch it, we are going to make it open, and then obviously we have the chat open here as well, so you guys can join in with the discussion, which is good. But thank you for everybody for joining us this afternoon. It's been an absolute pleasure as always. Remember, wash your hands, stay safe, don't cough over your loved ones, unless you don't like them.
Unless you don't like them.
Bump them off.
Yeah.
So yes, but honestly, seriously, guys, everyone stay safe. Make sure you look after each other and everything else like that. We will be around with you very, very soon. We'll be back on tomorrow night, but then next week we'll be back on with you as always. Okay. But yes, we're all done. You all done then, Matt?
We're all done. Yeah, absolutely.
Very nice. Okay. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. Happy modelling. Take care. Bye.
Bye.